I don't know. We'll probably get like 10 to 20 people, depending. And then
Yeah.
obviously, if your friends come in too, that'll add.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna lie, it's probably not gonna be a lot, but whatever.
Yeah, just gotta wait for some people to come in, get the notification, and
Yeah. That is if anybody actually sees it.
actually, though, like shortly after I scheduled the stream, my friend Jesse popped in at 2:41 p.m. and commented.
What did you say? Oh, there we go. Oh.
Oh, okay. Zoe's here. Francine's here now.
Hey guys.
So hello to Zoe. Hi, Francine.
Loyalty is loyalty. Wait, no, that's not it. I was trying to quote Maleficent, but my epic quote. It looked better without the light.
You know, the sun's starting to go down, so I don't know how much more daylight I'm gonna have. Let me pull it around to the front of my face.
That's why I do with my light.
And put it around to the front. So that way it's not backlighting me.
Hey, Mike. Hey, right.
Aw. It always says, "Hey, Mike," and "Awesome, Liz," all caps.
Well, you know, because I am awesome.
Oh, sure. Toot your own horn.
Hello. I need as much of an ego boost as I can because I have no confidence whatsoever.
Welcome to my world, sister.
Okay. So should we go ahead and just get started, and if more people join, we'll just catch them up?
Yeah, so let's just get the ball rolling, and then we can just catch people up to speed.
All right. So for everyone who's already in here, it's like you two, basically. So as our little promotion thing says, Mike here just watched Wicked 2 days ago for the very first time because I have so many copies of it.
Peer pressure.
So,
peer pressure.
He has never seen it. He's heard the music, like one of the songs before, which is the most iconic, and I give him credit for that. But so we watched it, and he absolutely loved it. So he wanted to discuss all the continuities and everything. Oh, hello, Craig. And I love the profile picture. So we're gonna basically just discuss the play, talk about like our favorite characters, our favorite moments. I know more about the show, so I know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. So I'll go through a little bit of that. If y'all have questions about the show, feel free to ask. If you guys have comments about what we're talking about, feel free to say whatever you want. There's no judgment here. There is no being mean. No being mean here. This is a friendly, fun place.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, guys, so as Liz said, she knows a lot more about this show than I do, so she's definitely going to be the front runner on this. So any questions you have, 9.9 times out of 10, Liz is probably going to be the one to answer.
Or who can answer it. So, because I know pretty much almost every single detail of this play, so.
Okay. So yeah.
So.
Starting off with like the broad overall story of Wicked.
Okay, so yeah. So for those who do not know, Wicked is the untold story of the Witches of Oz, which is what the poster says. But in reality, it's literally based off a book, and it's really the life and times of the Wicked Witch of the West. A mouthful of a title, but a good book. I highly recommend it. I read it at least once a month because it's such a good book. So it's basically like more of a what happened, like how Glinda and Elphaba, who is the Wicked Witch, and we all know who Glinda is, how they meet, how they become friends, and kind of like a prequel, sort of, almost like a prequel. But yeah, so it gives you a new view of the Wicked Witch. It makes you not hate her. I mean, for me, I don't hate her at all because I love her. But
well, as described by your makeup in the thumbnail.
Yes, her makeup. Oh my god. No, you should have seen the second time I did it in class. Oh, it took so much longer, and it took so much longer to get off. my face was red because I was scrubbing so hard. So I feel any alphabet like who I meet, I'm like, I know your pain. I've done the makeup to myself before, so I know their pain and how long it takes to get off. But yeah. So Mike, question for you: before you saw Wicked, what were your expectations for the show?
Well, my first expectation was obviously neither of us were born when it came out, but I grew up watching. Well, I grew up loving and watching The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And so when I first heard about this musical, I felt I was unsure of how I felt about it because, I mean, obviously it was a different take on The Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. At least that's what I thought at the time. But it's like now that I've actually sat down with you and watched it, I now understand that it ties in very well to The Wizard of Oz, but it gives it a nice spin.
Yeah.
Wicked gives a nice spin to the telling of The Wizard of Oz as a whole, which also, disclaimer for anyone, Wicked ignores the whole Oz the Great and Powerful timeline.
Yeah, so don't when you go there and be like, oh, hey, Chelsea. So don't expect her to be going in there and seeing Mila Kunis bringing disgrace to the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, so we're not going to be mentioning Evanora or
James Franco.
James Franco.
Which, not to hate on them, they did really good. Hey, Brianna. Not to hate on them, they did really good, except for Mila Kunis. I mean, come on, she's done better, but you know what else? What else can you do? So anyway, sorry, I just cut you off.
But yeah, so now that we've actually watched it together, it's like I had listened to a little bit of the soundtrack before, primarily Defying Gravity, because that's like the real power ballad.
And it's like the most iconic song of the entire production. Mm-hmm. So it's like, but that and I would say the turning point song where like she actually becomes this person who everyone expects her to be.
Hey Daniel, what's up, buddy?
Is definitely No Good Deed. That is like that's her turning point when she becomes Wicked. Is No Good Deed. So, so if you all haven't seen the show, I would leave because we're gonna be talking about it in detail. We'll try not to spoil anything, but we're not gonna make any guarantees because some of the things we talk about will explain. Anyway, it's all tangled. It's a big plate of spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some of the things we're going to be discussing need to be defined in detail to understand how it fits into the story.
Yeah, so where would you like to start, Michael? Since you are the newbie to the Wicked family.
Yeah, I'm definitely a newbie.
I got my little notes right here. This whole book, I filled this entire book with Wicked stuff. So yeah.
Yeah. So when I actually took the time to listen to more of the soundtrack and then actually watch the show with you, like I was really blown away with like the attention to detail, not only to, I'm guessing, the book, but also to tying in the Wizard of Oz. So like the costumes for the Munchkins, the Citizens of Oz.
See, that's the common misconception with the book and the Broadway show is that there actually isn't as much in common between the book and Broadway show as people think. There is like certain things like Elsa gets called in, gets summoned by the wizard, Madame Morrible portrays them and all that. So the main stuff happens, but a lot of the details in the book is not in the show, which kind of bums me out because, you know, I love my Glinda and Elsa moments. I love when they have moments together. But because you know, I ship them so hard.
Which we can discuss the relationship between Elphaba and Glinda in detail later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so also real quick before we continue, if you guys aren't subscribed to Liz's channel, go over to her channel. The link is in the description of this video. Go sub to her.
Yeah.
She's kind of taken a break from YouTube recently, but she wants to get back and she wants to get the ball rolling again.
I got this fun thing called school. And
Liz has been going to school full time.
The sooner I get done with school, the sooner I can get back into doing that. So And also, I don't have enough subscribers to go to do live streams, so that's why I really like doing, because I hate editing. That's the real reason. I can't stand it. I love doing live streams better, because then I don't have to upload it directly. So, oh no, it's upload whatever. So, what were we talking about before? Forgot.
So anyway, like now that I've actually listened to the music, seen one example of the show, it's like I can understand why it's such a beloved musical, why it's had such a long run. I think this would be its 17th year. Because I think it debuted in 2003.
Yeah, so coming October will be the 18th year.
18th or 17th?
18th.
Okay. Oh yeah, because they would have done the pre-Broadway tour.
Yeah. So we're supposed to go on tour because they're supposed to come to Charlotte in December, which it's not going to probably happen now because God.
Yeah,
I
tears.
swear, it just happens when I get very excited or angry about stuff. So I don't know if y'all are like against swearing, but it will happen because I'm very passionate about Wicked. So, but little transition. Mike, who was your favorite character in the play, in the Broadway show? Hey, Caroline.
Well, I mean, this is because I'm a Disney fan, but I loved Idina Menzel as Elphaba. She really nailed that performance. Mm-hmm. It's like she really got into the emotion that came with that role. Which, for those of you who don't know, Elphaba goes through some real emotional turmoil throughout the musical.
And physical too, like she was.
And physical as well.
Her father did not like her at all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which we will discuss that plot point later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just in the broad spectrum, I loved Elphaba, specifically Idina. I loved Kristen Chenoweth because, again, Disney fan. She was in Descendants. I also loved how they tied some of the characters from The Wizard of Oz into the story of Wicked.
Exactly.
And they gave more backstory.
Mm-hmm. Like with the lion and.
And The Wizard of Oz, the movie was very one-sided. It was told from Dorothy's side. But I love that this musical really tells things more from Elphaba's point of view.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point, is to like show that that's really what the whole play encompasses, is that like people on who they always seem to be, in a good way or a bad way. Everybody has a story, a reason why they are the way they are. So, and this is basically why Elphaba is the way she is. And so, like, little fun fact, I'm gonna be dropping fun facts all throughout this thing. So, the name Elphaba, obviously, her name was not mentioned in The Wizard of Oz. So, if you guys look at the author of Wizard of Oz, I don't know his name, but it's basically like an L, and then his middle name is like something with an F, and then his last name is Bra or Brew. They took the first few letters of his name, so L, Bra, and then the Bra comes from his last name, so that's where they got the name Elphaba. Anyway, continue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Zoe said she subbed to you.
So,
and my friend Jessie is wondering if she can join the live.
Can she?
But guys, yeah, if I send her the link, I can. But guys, I think I'm just gonna work with Liz on this one.
Yeah, because not to like to exclude y'all, but like I don't. I feel like the more people we have in the chat, the more sidetracks we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm. And also because it's really hard to keep up with people in the live video when you have multiple people trying to talk.
Yeah, it won't start lagging and whatnot.
So it's really easier with the one-on-one.
Yeah, and don't worry, guys. I'm a fast reader, so I'll be able to see every comment that y'all write. So don't worry about it. Which,
speaking of that, Robert Spars says hello. Hello,
hey,
Robert.
So obviously Mike knows who my favorite is, and that's Elphaba, because she's just so freaking relatable.
Hi, Jackie.
Okay, yeah. So you know more of these people than I do. So I think Zoe and Caroline are the only two in here that I know right now. or that I can remember. If I know you, I'm sorry that I don't really. Orlando. Wait, is that you? Orlando.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey. But so do you want to start dissecting the show or look at Jesse's comment? Which comment? Caroline's like texting me like, look at Jesse's comment.
Oh, okay. So
Hey, Chris.
Part, that's actually my friend. That's actually my friend Jeff. Actually, he's apparently using his father's phone. But hi, Jeff. How you doing? Chris is another sub of mine. How you doing, buddy? Sorry, I'm trying to keep the discussion going, but also respond to people's.
Oh yeah, no, that's understandable. So, but anyway, so another thing is like everybody can find some character in this play that they relate to, whether if it's Elphaba, Glinda, Madame Morrible, the Wizard, Bach. But I feel bad. What?
Which actually, I'm glad you say that because this literally just hit me like an epiphany. So, for those of you who may or may not know, I grew up in foster care for most of my life.
I did not know that.
So I was always a bit of a social outcast. So I think that's why I was more drawn to Elphaba as a character, because obviously growing up the way she did, she was a bit of a social outcast too.
A bit of a social outcast? She was green.
But I mean, like, obviously she had good relationships with her teacher and Galinda. Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know, at the start of Wicked, Glinda's name is actually Galinda, spelled Galinda.
Yeah.
But I think later on in the musical, I think it was still in Act 1.
She changed it, yeah.
She changed it to Glinda and dropped the first A.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, see,
that's we have another Elphaba fan in here.
That's why I love Elphaba. Is because Elphaba is my favorite because I can be like, yeah. See, Elphaba. I think everybody can either. It's always going to be either Elphaba or Glinda. Me, it's Elphaba because again, I was an outcast being from Russia and living in the South and being gay. Not the best combo, especially in the South. So and also I was bullied. I was bullied to the point where I didn't want to go to school. So and I wasn't very close with I don't want to say close to my parents because I love my parents, but I don't always tell them everything. So that leaving that like puts pressure and stress on me. So it just makes me more. It makes me put my walls up more, and that's what Elphaba is. And how she is in the beginning. She has her walls up, and she doesn't want anything to do with this peppy, popular pink puffball. So, hey, Robert. So, but anyway, what was I saying? Completely
forgot. So now let's actually dive into the storyline.
Jesse can't. Should we just start at the beginning?
Hold on. I hope this isn't happening again.
What? Can y'all see us?
Oh, this better not be happening again. Can
y'all see us?
Okay, I think we're still good.
Okay. Can y'all see us? Oh, I don't like that sound.
Oh yeah, so.
Okay, we're good. So I guess we start at the beginning and work our way through.
Yeah, so like let's start with at the beginning of the musical, what kind of happens.
Yeah, so it opens up with them celebrating the death of the Wicked Witch, like literally no more than like a few moments after she dies, because everyone's like, "Oh, is it true? The Wicked Witch is dead?" Like, yes, she died at 1 o'clock because she says at the stroke of 13 or something like that. As we go of a bucket of water thrown by a female child. Yes, the Wicked Witch is long dead. I'm so proud of myself that I know that. But yeah, so it opens up with with Elphaba already being dead. Mike, thoughts?
That definitely shocked me.
A bang. It opens up with a bang, definitely.
Mm-hmm. But like I recognize that, like not only do they use that in theater, they use that in film as well. They start with events that happen in the future, and then they go back to the past and work their way back up to that point.
Yeah,
that's a common trope in film and theater.
We see a little bit about Elphaba's parents and how they met. We found out her mother's not a very loyal wife. That's a clean way to put it. And we find out how she became green. How did you like that explain, like that idea?
I mean, that was definitely weird. Like I would have thought that like Elphaba's mother would have had green skin, or her father, and that's how she inherited it.
Mm-hmm.
But for anyone wondering what we're talking about, Elphaba's parents drink a green.
The green elixir is what it's called. It's really called the green elixir.
A green elixir
given to her by someone who shall not be named.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what causes her to be.
And that's what causes Elphaba's skin to be dyed green. So
at birth.
Elphaba was born that way.
She was born green, and the father did not like that one bit. He didn't want to hold the baby when.
Yeah, because the man who shall not be mentioned was married to another woman, but had a fling with Elphaba's mother.
Correct window. So
obviously Elphaba's life started off pretty rough from the get-go.
Yeah. I guarantee you her father tried to hide her away or something, because he and also, side note, he is the governor of Munchkinland, which is like the president, I guess, of the area. Mike, does someone dislike your live stream that you are doing? We don't care.
Forget the trolls. Forget the trolls.
Yeah, man. I've been trolled my entire life, so I don't care. They can say all they want. They can dislike it. They can do whatever. But
they hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, but you know what? Elphaba was hated, and now she went down in history. So that's a very bad comparison. We jump forward a little bit to actual. I guess you can call it registration day, when they all come to school. We find out how much of a spoiled brat Glinda is, and how much is that big luggage that she rides in on. That's all her stuff. That's no one else. That's all hers. So that kind of tells you how spoiled she is.
Yeah, because for those of you who may have seen The Wizard of Oz or have seen this musical, we all know Glinda is a blonde.
Mm-hmm.
And she's portrayed at the beginning as that typical ditzy, blonde, popular girl, but not a lot of smarts.
Sorry.
So real popular, spoiled, not a lot of smart, Gets what she wants.
Tries to act innocent when she does something wrong, or like tries to be smart, but like a smart mouth, which doesn't really fly over well. She gets,
no pun intended. No pun intended.
Very jealous. What did I say?
Something about flying around, like no pun intended.
Didn't mean that, but also she gets jealous really quickly. Like she doesn't. Madame Morrible, who is the head Shizdress, is what they call it, but it's really just mistress. Like she's the headmaster of Shiz University. Chooses Elphaba over Glinda. Glinda does not like that very much, and I don't blame her, because when you write an essay that says that's titled "Magic Wands," right? They have a point. I don't think you're gonna get chosen for a class that you really want to take with a title like that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jesse, happy early birthday. So,
So when they go back to basically the beginning of the story, when they're at the school, they show Glinda arriving first.
I don't even know how to hit that note.
Mm-hmm.
So poor Michael had to listen to my awful singing while we were watching this.
It wasn't that bad. It was not that bad. I've heard far worse. Okay.
But because I know I can't sing, But I would love to be Alphabet one day on Broadway. So because I know enough about the show that I'd be good to go with my lines and all that. But yeah. Anyway, back to the actual dissection of the.
So then after Glinda goes through her kind of musical number, Alphaba then comes out.
She comes running in, doing Dear Old Chiz, which is the musical number where we introduce the Alphaba, and we kind of see how the students react to her. They don't want anything to do with her. They don't want to be near her because they think she's sick or something. And then she clearly says, oh gosh, what is it? No, I'm not seasick. Yes, I've always been green. And no, I did not eat grass as a child. So, yeah, that kind of tells you, that line kind of tells you that she's used to everybody looking at her that way, used to assuming that people are like, oh, why is she green? Why does she look like that? So she automatically, she owns it in a way, but not in a positive way. She's come to grips with it. She's come to accept that she's green and there's nothing she can do about it. But apparently they've never heard of makeup, so you never know. But anyway, that's just me. So I do like how did you get started with Wicked, Liz? That's a good question, actually. I think the first thing I ever saw Idina Menzel in was not Lin Manuel, was Rent, and I guess I became a fan of his then. And then I loved Wizard of Oz when I was little. All I wanted to do was go to Oz and not come back. The Wicked Witch freaked me out, but I think my friend Emily, and I think it was in middle school, she's the one who actually introduced me to Wicked because she kept singing Popular. In what? I'm not. I'll be back.
Okay, brief pause, guys. I think Liz has to go take care of something.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so she was singing Popular for an audition, and that's how I first got introduced to Wicked. So then I looked it up, and then that is the birth of my obsession with Wicked. So I've been obsessed with it since middle school, which is about 15 years maybe.
Mm-hmm. And then I think, sorry to deviate from Wicked, but then I think once Frozen came out and you learned that Idina Menzel was Elsa,
yeah,
that made you love both Frozen and Wicked a little bit more.
Correct, but actually, a lot of people I think would be because anybody who knows how much I love Idina Menzel, but she actually is not my favorite Elphaba. Unlike Mike, an actress named Wilhelmine Wickheid, who's also the German voice of Elsa, she did Wicked for 3-4 years maybe. She has done Elphaba in German, Dutch, and English, and she by far is my favorite Elphaba because she just her facial features and everything is just I can see her being Elphaba in the movie. But Dina's right behind her. But anyway, what were we talking about before? I just completely went off track.
Well, yeah, so we just got through the opening number. I think it was what was it? No one mourns the wicked.
We went through that. We went through the old shiz. What is this feeling? I think is what we should cover up next.
Okay, or was it the Wizard and I?
Wizard and I. Then come on, Mike, sing Minecraft.
Well, so actually, that's my buddy Jeff. He's using his dad's account. He's using his dad's phone. But hi, Jeff, I am not going to ruin the name of Elphaba and Idina Menzel by even trying. I am not going to do it.
I'll try it, but I'm not going to sound good at all. I'll do What Is This Feeling because I don't want to try and hit that note. I will play the music while we talk about Wicked because why not? Because it's Wicked.
But now I will say this, guys. So jumping a little bit ahead in the songs, Defying Gravity is probably my personal favorite song, especially Elphaba's quote-unquote battle cry. The final 4 notes that she sings.
Oh, yeah.
In the song is incredible. Because, you mentioned Wilhelmine, and I think she did...
The W, it's a German name, so the W makes a V sound, so it's Wilhelmine.
Oh yeah, Wilhelmine. She did somewhere close to over 1,000 performances. Because I saw a video on YouTube today of her.
Sing, Liz.
I saw a video today on YouTube I was doing a little bit of recon of her 1000th curtain call.
Mm-hmm. She definitely loves playing Alphaba, and I guarantee you, if they would have asked her, "Hey, do you want to be Alphaba in the movie?" I feel like she'd probably say yes, because Adina and Kristen can't do it because Kristen looks way too old. Adina probably could, but she can't sing the notes as well as she used to be able to because it has strained her voice.
Especially that final note in Defying Gravity. It's a C sharp 5.
I've hit that note, and I've done it several times, and it does strain your voice. It really does, and so does The Wizard and I too, because that final note, and when there'll be a day of the celebration all throughout eyes that all to do with me, and she holds that me and goes right into when I'll stand there with the wizard in one breath. That is and No Good Deed. So like those 3 songs will damage your vocal cords if you're not careful. Like I'm not saying Adina wasn't careful. I guarantee you she was, but she did it for 3 years. So
yeah. So obviously we were just now getting into.
So when we
Wizard and I.
Yeah.
Which, if I recall, that's sung between Elphaba and the headmistress of the school.
The headmistress just sings like the first couple lines of it, and then it's all Elphaba.
About Elphaba being summoned to Oz to meet with the wizard.
No, not yet. Not yet. She's just imagining like, oh, what's it gonna be like when I meet the wizard? Like, oh, this is how it's gonna be. This is how she imagines meeting the wizard's gonna be.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna like lightly play it in the background.
All right. That's not too loudly though, because I'll get copyright.
Oh yeah. Never mind then. Never mind. But yeah. So she sings her first power ballad in the show. And then we see how much going into What Is This Feeling, which is the next number. We see how much Galinda and Alpha do not like each other because they're being forced to share a room together, which is not bad. That's
also, on that note, I think Jesse mentioned earlier that she has seen the show. In their room, they are like so complete polar opposites. So like Galinda's side of the room, it's like well lit, lots of shoes, different bright, vibrant colors.
No books.
But then no books. But then you look at Elphaba's side in the room. Dark, little to no possessions.
So I'm just trying to in my head.
They were such complete polar opposites at first.
Yeah.
But that's what I loved about the growth in their relationship.
I'll sing it a little bit, Jeff. I promise.
Although now, Elphaba does have a sister in this, doesn't she?
Yes, Rose, who we actually we actually learn is paralyzed from the waist down, because we find out that her father was so worried about Nessa being green too, that her mother chewed milk flour, which ended up making Nessa come and have an early birth. She came a lot sooner than she needed to, and caused her legs to be all tangled. And so Elphaba blames herself for that, which she shouldn't, because let's be real, it's not her fault. Wicked is probably, and this is saying like now with Frozen on Broadway, as much as I love Frozen, but Wicked trumps Frozen, and I have to say it, but it really does, because I love, I don't know, Wicked my childhood. What?
Okay, Jeff. To answer your question, we will get into that later when we cover Defying Gravity. But we have a few more songs and story bits to go through before we get there.
Yeah, but stay, because I will be more than happy to tell you exactly the whole meaning behind Defying Gravity, and I can also tell you how she flies. So yes, and I'm excited.
And when we say how she flies, we mean how they actually get the actress playing Elphaba up so high into the air.
Yeah. And
how they hide it.
Yeah. So it's and I have a little doodle here to show y'all how it works. So I'm excited.
Which Liz is fairly artistic. Like when I've seen, she and I were video chatting yesterday, and I saw some of her drawings. Like, she's very good. She is very detailed.
I have my sketchbook sitting right over there. So, but
anyway.
Well, so we went. What is this feeling? Is basically them saying, "Oh, I loathe you, I hate you," and blah 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 blah.
Typical first time meeting angst.
Yeah.
Angst.
Like saying how they're gonna hate each other for the rest of the time and blah blah blah. And then it's oh my god, I should know these songs right. And then something bad, really nothing to cover, but basically Dr. Dillerman, who is a professor of history at Shiz University, who is Elphaba's favorite teacher, basically says how animals are becoming animals. So, real quick note, this is probably one of the most confusing things about Wicked, is that in the world of Oz, you have animals with a lowercase a, and then animals with an uppercase a. So, animals with when you're talking about an animal like Dr. Dillerman, who can talk, he's an animal with an uppercase a because he talks and he's sophisticated. He's telling
anthropomorphic, I think is the term.
Yes, exactly. So he's saying how all the animals are now becoming regular animals, like they can't talk anymore, and it's bad because Oz is losing what makes Oz magical. And so she's like, "Oh, well, if we go to the wizard, he'll fix it. He'll be able to fix everything." And so that's what starts to drive her to go and see the wizard more.
Mm-hmm. But also to mention, the professor is a goat.
Yeah.
So if you see in the show, you actually see the actor wears a headpiece that looks like a goat's head with the ears and the horns.
Yep, and it's prosthetic, so like they blend it into his skin in order to hide it.
Mm-hmm. But then in the curtain call, he does actually take it off, and then
so that was Then comes Mr. Swanky Prince Fierro, who I really do not like. I'm not gonna lie.
In Dancing Through Life.
Yeah, which is where we see Galinda's true colors, how she really was back then. So,
Galinda was basically your average cheerleader.
She was like Regina George, sort of in a way, but not.
Yeah, she had a Regina George
feel
sense about her.
Yeah, she didn't show it, but yet it was slight. Like, so she humiliated Elphaba by giving her her signature pointy hat, and caused the whole school to laugh at Elphaba. That kind of shows you how mean she was back then.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, isn't that also how Elphaba gets her witch hat?
Yep.
That was the moment you were talking about.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So the scene she was talking about, it's basically the prom at the school that Galinda and Elphaba go to.
A random, completely unplanned prom, may I add.
Mm-hmm. And then
let's go to the Oz Dust Ballroom and have a dance. Just wing it. And
so then Elphaba walks in, and she is so shy, she doesn't really know what to do. So she starts awkwardly dancing, and then as displayed by Riz.
Yeah, I know the whole dance scene. So.
But then Galinda embarrasses Elphaba by giving her this black pointed hat, which obviously you would know becomes the Wicked Witch's hat.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's also a broad plot point, is that the further you go into the musical, the more Elphaba starts to get her Wicked Witch outfit that we know from the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Which I can't wait to tell y'all about the costumes. Oh my gosh, I can go on a rant about the costumes all night, but we're not going to. But so and then comes Popular, where they're like, "Hey, you're not so bad. Hey, you're not so bad either. Okay, let's be friends." And it's like, why can't people get along that quickly? Because they have it's like a heart to heart, which I really like, which is why I love why I ship through so much. Half of me likes them in a more romantic way, half of me likes their friendship. I'm kind of torn, but I love the dynamic between them. And also, Mike pointed this out, that Adina and Kristen, they have such great chemistry on stage. And also, it's adorable that Kristen...
Also,
you want to learn off? I will teach you off later.
It's like during Popular,
I'll teach you.
Galinda still shows a bit of her snarky, ditzy blonde side. And even in the opening lines, she says, "Elfie, now that we're friends, I've decided to make you my new project."
You really don't have to do that. I know.
But then Galinda says, "I know. That's what makes me so nice." So clearly, Galinda is still thinking a lot of herself at this point.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, if I make you popular, everybody's gonna think I'm such a great person."
Galinda's thought is basically, if I do this nice thing for this person, it'll make me seem even nicer and make me more popular.
And let's face it, who isn't less fortunate than I? She's very full of herself, especially at the beginning of Popular. You can tell by the lyrics that she's very full of herself and everything. But and then after she's like, oh, we're gonna tell each other a secret. And then she tells Alphabet this dumb thing about her being and Fiero being engaged, but then Alphabet tells her a legit secret that makes Glinda oh my god. And she says, this is probably one of my favorite lines in the whole play is that after Alphabet explains what happened to her sister, she's and Alphabet's and none of which would have ever happened if it wasn't for me. And Alphabet, Glinda looks at her and she's like, that was the milk flower's fault, not yours. And she she puts her arm around Alphabet and she says, that may be your secret, Alphabet, but that doesn't make it true. That's probably one of my favorite lines because it kind of shows you that she's starting to warm up to Alphabet because she knows that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be so mean to this person because she's had it tough. And which then goes into the popular song being, you know what, I'm gonna do something nice for you because you've had it tough and I want to look like a good person. But at the end, she says, pink goes good with green because she puts a little pink flower in Alphabet's hair. And
I really loved that moment. I thought that was a really cute moment.
Yeah, and I love jumping back really quickly to when they arrive at Shiz. Basically, Alphabet's dad gives Nessa Rose these jeweled shoes, which we'll talk about later. And Nessa sees how upset Alphabet is about it, and she's like, and Alphabet says, what could he get me? I clash with everything because she's green. So when Glinda says pink goes good with green, it's kind of warms Alphabet up a little bit. She's like, oh, Alphabet, look at you, you're beautiful. And then she just runs away because she's not used to getting those compliments. So, and it's
she's not used to getting that kind of positive reinforcement and emotion from people.
Exactly. So I'm just like that. I don't get compliments very often. So when people tell me I'm beautiful or something like that, I'm like, thanks. I have a little awkward feeling because I don't get those compliments very often because.
And that's the same with me too.
I'm like, A, because I don't really try, and B, nobody really likes me, so whatever.
Hey, I like you.
No, not in a romantic way though.
Oh yeah, as a friend, obviously, as a friend.
Yeah. And then she's like, you know what? Just be what is it? You're gonna. She says you're gonna grin and bear it. In your newfound popularity, she's gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this to you, and you're gonna like it whether you like it or not. And Alphabet does. She accepts it, and her costume changes. Her outfit from the gray smock that she's wearing at the beginning to right before I'm Not That Girl. She has a little bit more white on than usual.
She was wearing the white shirt, but it still had black around the collar and down the center where the buttons would have been.
Exactly. And then I'm Not That Girl. Okay, the lion. We need to touch on this. The Cowardly Lion. We see him as a cub. Excuse me.
Which this was the first tie-in that I noticed to The Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And I questioned the continuity at first, but then I thought, but lions grow at a much faster rate.
Mm-hmm.
By the time lions are 3-4 years old, they're at that full size with the mane and.
Yeah. So we see what we assume is to be the Cowardly Lion, and we learn that Elphaba. She finds out what this new teacher, because Dr. Dillerman gets fired because he's a goat. And the new teacher's like, we're gonna torture this animal and find out what makes him tick. And which is literally what he says. He says something about making him tick. And Elphaba's like, well, someone's gotta do something, and she loses control of her magic, and everybody just starts freaking out. And
and that reference, what makes him tick, bear that in mind, guys, for later on in the discussion.
And so Fiero's like, okay, just don't move, don't touch anybody. He's like, don't. And he, I don't know if Mike heard this before, but it's a little funny thing I love. He tells Alphabet, don't move, don't touch anything. And he's like, don't hurt me or something like that. And it was just funny because he's like, oh my god, that's gonna bug me now. What does he say? I don't know, whatever. But they take the lion and they try to save. They're trying to save him basically. And this is when Fiero sees how nice and how caring Alpha actually is, because she says, and I quote, he's like, do you always cause commotions? She's like, oh, I don't cause commotions, I am one. And then she's like, oh, you think I want to be this way, and blah 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 blah. And he sees how much he actually does care for animals. And then she sees him bleeding, and then they have a little moment. He's like, oh, I gotta go and take care of the lion and everything.
And then that leads into I'm Not That Girl.
Yeah, and what sometimes they do in shows, which I don't know if they did it in ours because I wasn't really paying attention, but sometimes just as a little funny thing, Pierre will run one way, and then Alphabet would just stand there like, and then he'll run behind her the other way, and she'll be like, "Yeah, you should go that way," and like it's just a little funny trick that they do. But I'm not that girl. Do you want to explain it, or do you want me to?
Basically, from listening to the song and reading the lyrics, it sounds like Elphaba is clearly starting to have feelings for him, but obviously she has been so deprived of emotion that she doesn't know necessarily what she's feeling.
Yeah.
But also she's seen that the guy is smitten with Galinda.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't want to ruin her newfound friendship.
That, and also she doesn't feel like she's worthy of love.
Mm-hmm. So she's going through like a major third wheel emotional crisis right now.
My other relatable song I love is "I'm Not That Girl," because until almost 2 years ago, I wasn't. See, I think that's another thing is that like anybody, it doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, what you sound like, what your orientation is. Everybody's capable of finding love. You just have to be open to it. And I'm the last person who should be saying that because I am not open to it because I keep And we're not going to go down the road about my love life because it's sad.
We won't go down that road.
Yeah, it's sad and pitiful. But anyway, everybody's capable of finding somebody that loves them. If you just gotta be open to it, basically, is what my moral of the story is. So, now coming to one of my favorite song numbers in this entire show is "One Short Day." It's basically when Alpha was like, you know what, Glinda? Oh wait, do you want to talk about Galinda changing her name?
Oh yeah, and basically that was like fast forwarding to their graduation, right?
No, because they get an excused absence from school to go see the wizard.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like when I watched the musical, the way they had the stage set up and how Galinda, the way like Galinda, the headmistress, and the guy were standing together, it seemed like Galinda was graduating. Because isn't that also when she got her wand?
I think she gets her wand actually in Dancing Through Life.
Oh, okay. So I'm jumping ahead.
Yeah, you're jumping all the way to thank goodness. One short day is when they go and see the wizard. She's like, "Oh, I've always wanted to see the Emerald City," and this is when we see all the Osmopolitan costumes and how they taken ideas from the Wizard of Oz and also concept ideas from the actual book and created these costumes.
Which the costumes are amazing because like obviously they have the traditional dark green, light green costumes that were in Oz, but they also added different colors in there. They added like gold, silver.
So like a single production, they have 269 costumes. So that's if you think about how many costumes that is for every single cast member, 69 costumes is a lot. So
which I think 3 or 4 of those are Elphabas, right?
Yeah, a good amount of them are Elphas and Glindas because they have the most costume changes, obviously. Which also, One Short Day contains the fastest costume change in the entire production because they have about 15 to 20 seconds. They have the runoff while the ensemble, which are the people in the background. If you guys don't know what they are, they're called the ensemble. They come and do the opening number to like One Short Day, blah 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 blah. Which I am learning the choreography too. I don't mean to brag, you know. But anyway. So they run off and they literally have like 15 to 20 seconds, and Michael counted it, to get out of the costumes that they have. So Alpha has her skirt, her shoes, and her top. Glinda has her jacket, her I think it's a dress or I don't know, blouse or something. And then they have to get into the new costume, which Glinda wears like a yellow spring dress, and Alpha has her black dress, but not the one that I cannot wait to tell you all about. And so the fact that they're able to do that. And also while they're doing that, Alpha is also getting her green touched up too, like for like her hands. So because she touches everything, so the green makeup on her hands comes off very easily. And I should know because I've done it. So
yeah, because the show that I watched was Liz wasn't in 2003. It was still when they were doing the opening tours to kind of start advertising the show.
Yeah, it was one of the actually. The last one.
The timing was a little bit slower, but that's because they had just opened the production pretty much.
Yeah.
So they were still working on the timing of the costume change and all that. But now Liz mentioned to me that there's a certain book in the musical that comes into play.
The Grimmery.
The pages are just so stained green from all the alphabets flipping through the pages and touching it with the makeup.
Yeah, and the Grimmery is actually the great transition into Defying Gravity. But just to touch on the Grimmery for a second, it's like a big, like, no lie, it's probably about this thick, but bigger, like the size of it. Oh, by the way, this is the fancy schmancy version of the book. It has the first book and the second book. So, y'all, please read the book. It's actually very good. If you like The Wizard of Oz, you'll love it. But anyway, The Grimmery is a book that actually contains legit spells. Like, they actually researched and hand-wrote these spells in the spell book. And then the ones, obviously, that Alpha has to read. But they, like, all the green, like Michael said, the green from every single alphabet, they have, like, 3 or 4 copies of the book. Because, obviously, it's old and it gets worn out. Like, you can tell where each alphabet had touched because of the green. And it just, I want it so bad. Anyway, continue. So, do you want to tell them about the wizard, or?
Well, obviously, so yeah. So then, Galinda and Elphaba go to Oz together. They meet the wizard, and like the actual wizard, not the. Although, interesting fact. So, in the musical, it's not the big smoke head. It's not the big head in the smoke that you recognize from the movie. It was like this. And honestly, a lot of the set design is similar to this. It's like, it's really designed after clocks, kind of a steampunk look. So when the wizard comes out, it's this big metallic head. But it was really cool. Like, I really enjoyed that. It was an interesting twist.
Yeah.
But then he actually comes out from behind the curtain and actually talks to Elphaba face to face.
So, and also the one short day number, all the light bulbs, the green light bulbs that you see, that's it takes about 2,000 LED light bulbs to cover up that set, and the amount of power that electricity that the show uses can power like 5 houses. And let's mention the smoke that Michael was talking about with the Oz head and everything, and like how when it comes out, there's like the light smoke in the background too, and that's actually dry ice because they know smoke will be a health hazard because of how much smoke they use in the show, especially during Defying Gravity. They knew that that would be a definite health hazard.
Yeah, if they were using fog machines, there would be a breathing hazard.
Yeah, we used fog machines in my school's production of Midsummer, and the theater's small, so it definitely, like, people were coughing during it, and so I mean we gave them a warning. We're like, hey, the smoke machines and the strobe, so we gave them a warning. But anyway, not the point. Point is, Elphaba gets to get Grimmery because she has to prove herself to the wizard. And then we find out who is actually behind the animals being turned into animals. Mike, would you like to do the big reveal?
It was the wizard and the headmistress of the school.
Correct, Amanda. Because where he comes from, which is our world, animals don't talk, and so he's like, it was chaotic and this, and so I was bringing order. No, dude, you're in a magical land. Just let the animals be. And they actually touch on that more in the book. That's another thing, is that we actually see how the animals are being treated differently now that when the wizard takes control. Like, they're actually being treated like animals. Like, talking pigs are being slaughtered for meat and stuff, like how we treat our animals. Fairly, but like wild animals. And it makes her mad. It makes her blood boil.
Mm-hmm. But now I think at that point she reads a passage from the book
that the wings.
Oh yeah, and the wizard has like an assistant or something.
Chistory.
Yeah, he has an assistant who's a monkey. But then when Elphaba casts the spell, the monkey grows wings. But then at the back of the stage on a screen, you see that all the monkeys now have wings.
Yeah, the wizard and Madame Wolf had tricked Elphaba into mutilating these monkeys, is how she says it.
But when they knew Elphaba was powerful, but they wanted to see how powerful she could be.
Yeah, and so and so that wizard's like, oh, we can make this right, and if like you trust me, and then she just runs away and she steals the Grimmery with her. And then what I don't get is
the wizard and the headmistress start spreading rumors that she is wicked.
Yeah, she the quote Madame Marble, she says citizens of Oz, saying something about like how there was a fugitive among us. She's responsible for the mutilation of these poor innocent monkeys. If you see her, don't confront her. Call, like, let the security know, basically, and be cautious of this monster, this horrific thing. That, and then she says, "This wicked witch," which is where her name comes from. It's because Madame Marble. And these people are just so mindless. They're like, "Oh no!" But they believe what they're told.
They're very gullible people.
And then so they run off, and as what's cool is here's another little behind the scenes thing. When they run off stage, they have about I have to say 15, 20 seconds because they have to go down a few flights of stairs, go underneath the stage, and come up. So that way, when they come back up for Defying Gravity, down the other side, they like, come up a different way. So they go. So this is okay. So say this is the stage. This is where they are. They run back here, but then they come up like right here. And so there's a little passageway underneath the stage that takes them in there, and they have to do that while Madame Marble is in the window like, oh, what are we gonna do? And blah 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 blah. And then they come up, and then Glinda's just trying to talk sense into her, which leads into one of the biggest number in the entire show, which is Defying Gravity. So, Jeff, are you still here?
Although we did skip over One Short Day and A Sentimental Man.
No, we discussed One Short Day because remember I talked about the costume changes and.
Oh yeah, but we skipped over A Sentimental Man.
Oh,
that's a very short number. That's a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, he's basically saying like, "Oh, I mean good. I don't mean any harm," and blah 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 blah. You guys can tell how much I don't like the Wizard at this point.
Mm-hmm. But now, so then, like she just said, it goes into one of the key transitioning songs and power ballads in the musical Defying Gravity.
Probably the one of the most popular songs most well-known songs on Broadway is Defying Gravity. So is Jeff still here? Because I'm about to answer his question. Y'all like have no idea how much I love talking about this number. Whatever. If he's not here, then it's his fault. So for those who do, okay. So overall, the meaning of the song. What did you take away from it? Before I actually tell you the meaning of the song, what do you believe it is, Mike?
It's very hard because it's like there are so many. Like, not only are.
I'm just gonna like lay back here. Listen to this.
Like, not only is Elphaba arguing with Glinda now at this point, she's also in conflict with herself because she wants to be the good person that Glinda believes she can be, but now with all of Oz calling her wicked, she's finding it hard to hold on to that.
Yeah, and also Glinda, all she wants to do is be popular, and she knows that Madame Marble and the Wizard can do that, but she also knows the right thing to do, which is why when they begin to sing the song, she's like, you can still be with the Wizard if you you can still have what you want. All you gotta do is go back and apologize. That's all you have to do. And she's like, and Elphaba, she knows she can. She knows how easy it is to go back and say, oh, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. But she knows it's not the right thing to do. So.
But now it's like, from her point of view, with all of Oz after her head, pretty much.
She's like,
she's afraid of what will happen if she just walks back in there.
Yeah, well, no, because then I feel like if she had gone back and apologized, they would have recanted everything, saying, "Oh, never mind," because everybody believes what the Wizard says. So he would have been like, "Oh, ignore what he said before. She's good. She's cool. But
yeah, it's like, also I loved the little nod to Elphaba's flying ability right at the beginning of the song because Glinda goes, "Elphaba, why wouldn't you stay calm for once instead of flying off the handle?"
Yeah, no,
yeah, because for those of you who haven't seen the musical, during this song is when Elphaba gets her broom.
Yeah,
and this is when she has the ability to fly, hence defying gravity.
Yeah, and so she's like basically saying like, overall, the whole meaning behind the song is basically, and this is actually what the writers have said. I'm gonna try to word it the best I can. is basically saying that she knows the whole world's against her now. She knows that the odds are stacked against her, the deck is stacked against her, but she does not care. She's gonna do what's right, and she's gonna do her best to save these animals and these monkeys, regardless of what people. And she's finally believing in herself enough to do something. So, what I love to talk about, what I love to explain to people, is how she flies. So I apologize for my awful drawing, but you know, I did my best. So this is kind of what like the audience sees. Okay, so that's what y'all see when she flies. But the technical aspect is actually it's a hydraulic lift. So I got my little laser pointer right here, so I'm just gonna be a little teacher for a minute. So I'm gonna try and do this. So right here, I don't even okay, you see that. So okay, oh thank you.
There you go, I helped you out.
So like right here is how like it looks on the side. So I'm not gonna explain it. So basically, it's like this little platform. Probably no bigger than that. And
not a lot of foot room.
Yeah, no. So when she runs away, when the guards come barging in, she runs away, and she had her. And at this point, Linda put a little cape on her because, oh, you look cold. Let me put this on you. And she goes and she has to throw her cape around this little part right here, with the hydraulics part, so it hides it. And so what happens is that there's a little button on the back of it that looks like a little triangle. The actress has to push her back into it, and it locks her in. These little like rings lock into her and lock her into place. And that sends a signal to the computer saying, "Okay, I'm ready to go. Let's do this." And there was a goof in one of Adina's shows where she didn't rise enough. She didn't start rising on time. It's because her back didn't hit that button. So if that thing does not buckle, if that thing's not locked, she's not going to fly and defy gravity. And
because it's a safety risk, because then she might fall.
Yeah, well, and what most people think is that that's all that's keeping her there is that little bar. There's no like foot clamps or anything. She just steps on that thing, and that's how she defies gravity. And the ring itself is covered in the same kind of fabric that her dress is made out of, so it camouflages into the background very well. Hence why all the other fabrics are like they look all like
side like that. And
yeah,
that's probably like a couple. That's got to be at least a dozen, if not more, yards of fabric.
Yeah, it is.
That's got to be like a couple dozen square feet of.
It is actually. I have my little fabric.
Because I mean, she goes like what, 10, 15 feet in the air?
I think it's 22 feet.
Okay, because then obviously that material fans out like that, and it pretty much cuts the stage in half.
Yeah. So
parallel the ensemble.
She like moves forward, and then she goes up, like because you hear her say it's not her. She has nothing to do with it. I'm the one you want. It's me. And when she says that second, it's me, that's when she starts to rise. And then you hear Glenda say, Elfie! And then she sings the final power ballad that everybody knows and loves and is obsessed with. That I'm not going to sing because I can't sing. Anyway.
Although I will play a little bit of it, just that way you guys can hear.
Play it like, you can come back to the screen now.
Okay. Okay. So I think I already have it on the moment. If it would play.
I got it. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hang on.
Yeah, it's like I also love the moment where she's like, and nobody, and all of Oz, no wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring me down.
Yeah, so that's basically telling her no one's gonna stop me from doing what I want to do.
And then obviously it goes into the famous. Like I'll play it real quick if it would work.
You want me to just play mine?
Yeah, because I think my Apple Music's messing up. So
okay,
you might have to play it.
Oh, here we go.
No wizard that there is or was
is ever gonna bring me down.
Now the ensemble is saying, "Look at her, she's wicked."
can't. Well, because I'm not trying.
Like, and then right when Defying Gravity ends, that's the end of Act 1, and then it goes into the interlude, which is about 20 minutes.
Yep. Which, by the way, when the curtains drop, Alphabet's still up there, and everyone else goes off stage and enjoys their intermission. It takes her about maybe 3 to 5 minutes to get down to nothing. It goes really slow.
But that's why the interlude is so long, so that way it gives her time to get down, go backstage, do any makeup touches she needs to do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna, since with what animation, I'm gonna give you all a little synopsis. Okay, I just got your name, Jeff. I think it is. Is it Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff.
You pick a Wicked song, and I'll sing like 10 seconds of it. I'm not gonna sing a lot because I can't sing. But you pick whatever Wicked song you want, I'll sing it. Except for Thank Goodness, I cannot hit those notes. But so with makeup is that Adina, whoever's playing Alphabet that night, when she goes back, so she's in the seat for a good 15 minutes because it takes about the act 1 makeup takes about 30 to 35 minutes for her to put on. And then they take her wig off, obviously, because they have to put the Act 2 wig on. And they have to put another layer of makeup on because a few years have passed. I think me and Michael came to the conclusion that was it maybe 2 or 3 years, 4 years at the max? I
think so.
It's a little time jump. So the first line that Alphabet says in Act 2 is so it's true what they say, the beautiful get more beautiful and the green just get greener. And so that's what happened, is that she's older now and her skin's darker, so they have to put another layer of green on.
Because so like obviously
Sing For Good. Okay. When we come to For Good, I give you my word. I'll sing For Good when we get to that part, okay? I give you my word. Mike will remind me.
Because obviously, so like as we said at the start of Act 2, the story has jumped ahead a few years.
Yeah.
So Elphaba has become more wicked, which has darkened her skin.
Yeah.
Because the darker she becomes, the darker her skin becomes.
Yeah. So when Act 2 begins, we're basically, it's Thank Goodness, and this shows you how amazing and mind-blowing Kristen Chenoweth's voice is. God bless her, she's amazing. But what's interesting is poor Alphaba, there's this little cupboard, this cabinet wardrobe thing. She's in there for the entire first number, waiting to come out. So I wouldn't be able to do that because I have claustrophobia, so I'd have to stand next to it. And
Not to mention it's in the dark.
Huh?
Not to mention you're in the dark.
Yeah, so I would have to be like, hey, I can do it. Just let me stand next to it. When you tell me to get in, I'll run and get in real quick. I'll stand behind if you want me to. I can't be in because I have severe claustrophobia, which is why I always had to sit in front row for the Frozen musical, the Frozen Broadway, not Broadway, the Frozen sing along with Disney because I have claustrophobia. But anyway, that's the point is, this brings us back to the slippers that I mentioned before, which shows us how the ruby slippers came to be. Mike, take it away. While I look up towards the part of So Good, the scene for your friend.
Okay. Well, yeah, because so then when Elphaba comes out of the wardrobe, I think she comes across her sister, right? Or her half-sister, technically?
No, they're blood related. They're full blood related.
Oh, okay. So Elphaba comes across her sister, who is paralyzed from the waist down. She cannot walk.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a bit of a discussion with her sister, Elphaba goes into the book. Sorry, I keep forgetting the name.
The Grimmery.
The Grimmery. Okay. And then she casts a spell which turns her sister's shoes red.
Or somebody say ruby.
Yeah, so that's another tie back to the Wizard of Oz, is that when Elphaba's sister's shoes turn red, those then become the ruby slippers. And then her sister walks, and her sister is grateful, but then her sister's husband comes in.
Not really husband. He's like her servant.
Oh, okay. Bach comes in, and how you pronounce it is you pronounce it like Sebastian Bach, the composer. He comes in, and I think he gets upset over it.
All right, Jeff, I got it all queued up, ready for you. All right. So when we get to Feel Good, I'll sing. I promise.
Yeah. So then I think Bach gets upset because Elphaba's sister is harboring Elphaba.
No, he gets upset because he can't live his life. Nessa is forcing him to say that because at this point, Elphaba and Nessa's father is dead. They're gone, and Nessa's now the ruler of Munchkinland, apparently. And she's abusing her power, and she's keeping the Munchkins down. She will not let Bach leave because she loves him, but he doesn't love her. And so she's been trying to get him to love her for all these years, but it just won't happen.
Okay.
In the book that Mike mentioned, the spell that Elphaba starts to, she leaves it open. And then when he's like, Nessa, surely I mean I'll matter less to you, because he wants to go and tell Glinda, hey, I love you, I want to be with you, and that just shatters Nessa's heart. And I'm sure all of y'all have had a broken heart at some point, but I think Nessa takes it a little too far, in my opinion.
And then she curses Bach because she basically says that he has no heart, which you guys are probably starting to understand where this is going.
Yeah, she wants him to lose his heart to her. She wants him to. So what she's trying to do is cast like a love spell or something. Isn't Liz an old lady? I'm not an old lady. Excuse me, I'm 24. Thank you very much. But she accidentally starts making his heart shrink, and so this is where I guess y'all can assume who's coming up. So.
But now, during this moment in the show, Bach is put into Nessa's chair and wheeled behind the wardrobe because that's when he starts to put on the pieces of his costume, which I'm sure most of you have guessed it by now. Bach becomes the Tin Man.
Mm-hmm. But
when he's behind the wardrobe, he's putting the pieces on.
But he has to be. The thing is, he has to do it very quietly because it is metal. Like the suit is actually metal, and so.
But then he wheels back out, kind of like center stage.
It's and then Elphaba, a spotlight hits Elphaba, a low light hits Elphaba, and she's casting the spell. And what Bob doesn't know, and this fuels the Wicked Witch fire, is what I'm calling it, is that when Elphaba's like, oh, he's asleep now, he'll be fine. And then when he wakes up. He sees that he's made out of tin and he doesn't know why. And Nessa tells him, "Oh, Elphaba did it." And what he doesn't know is that Elphaba saved his life. If he hadn't become the Tin Man, he would have died. So
because Nessa had cursed him to shrink his heart, which obviously you can't live without your heart.
Yeah, and so Nessa was like, "Oh, Elphaba did it. Elphaba did it." Because apparently, I think she thought that, oh, maybe he'll love me if he finds out that my sister did that. And so he's like, "It was Elphaba." And then. What's after that?
And then clearly, in the process of casting the spell that saves his life and turns him into the Tin Man, he apparently lost his memory.
Yep.
So he no longer remembers his life as Bach.
Yeah. So all he knows is that he's the Tin Man. For all he knows, he's been tin. And then so right before we get to Wonderful, which is the next song with the Wizard and Elphaba, I'm gonna let y'all know just to give you a good idea of how. Like, because the one we watched, Elphaba is like climbing in as the gears coming to the side to change the scene. She's climbing down, and what y'all need to understand is Elphaba's dress is really heavy. It's like oh gosh, I should know this by now. It's like 23 pounds, I think. Is that right? Let me checking real quick. Give me 1 sec. Elphaba is 17 to 20 pounds is her dress, and it's made out of 40 yards of fabric, I believe, if I'm correct. Yes, it is made out of 40 yards of fabric, and it is so beautiful, and I want it to be my wedding dress so bad. Okay. That's awesome.
It's like that is a lot of weight to carry.
Yeah, and so she's climbing down this thing, and I'm like, you go, girl, you. Okay, anyway. So
also, not to mention, like, she's not roped in or anything. She's like free climbing down this.
Mm-hmm. And actually, that was Adina's idea. She's like, oh, can I just climb down? Because she thought it'd be easy, but nope. So now after the preview shows, she just like rolled in on it on the bottom, so all she'll do is hop down. But Wonderful is basically the wizard being like giving his backstory, like how he got here, convincing Elphaba to like join him, and she's persuaded. She just straight up agrees. And she's like, "Oh, I'll join you on one condition: if you set those monkeys free." And she does, but. There's a little thing, a little. I remember what it was. It was Dr. Jillian's reveal. That's what that face was. I took a picture of you of when you found out. That was it. Anyway, so I just kind of gave it away. You want to explain?
No, you keep going.
So as all the monkeys are flying away and going, and all that, like, you know how monkeys are. There's an animal underneath the cloth, and Alpha was like, "Hey, you, go fly!" And she pulls the cloak back, and she finds out it's Dr. Dillerman, who can't talk anymore because he's just a normal goat, and that just shatters her. Because Dr. Dillerman was one of the only teachers that was nice to her, the only people who was nice to her, except for Glinda, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, "Oh, I'm never gonna be like you. I don't want to be like you, and I will fight you to the day I die." And then the guards come, and then all hell breaks loose. Basically, that's the easiest way to describe it. And then comes Kristen Chenoweth's one and only solo, which is like
the reprise for "I'm Not That Girl."
Yeah, which is like what, 15 seconds long.
Yeah, 50 seconds long.
And
but
then,
now at this point of the musical, Glinda has grown up a lot more. She has matured. And she doesn't act quite as snarky and persnickety as she used to.
Yeah,
as stuck up.
And she is still her, and at this point her and Alpha, I guess, are still friends, because when they see each other before the reprise of I'm Not That Girl, Glinda's like, "Alfie, I'm so glad to see you, and you know that you're okay. But if anybody discovers you," which means discovering, if y'all don't know, but then she finds out that Fiero's here to help Alpha, and she thinks that Alpha and Fiero have been cheating behind her back, which is not true, because Alpha would not ever hurt Glinda because she loves her. Maybe not in the way I want them to, but you know, I just gotta get over it, you know, whatever. But and then you want to? I feel like I've been talking a lot. You want to explain As Long As You're Mine? You want to explain As Long As You're Mine?
I was like, I'm trying to remember where we are, because you said we're in the As Long As You're Mine.
Yeah, As Long As You're Mine, right after
the reprise.
Yeah. Kiss me too fiercely. Hold me.
Wait, isn't this when Alphabet says the one line in the musical that you don't like?
Yes, the only line in this entire musical that I loathe so much.
So I think this is the moment where Alphaba is
she's finally
announcing her love for the prince, right?
Yep, Fiero, yep.
Yeah, and I think the prince is starting to realize that he has the same feelings.
Yeah.
So now, slowly but surely, Glinda is now starting to become the third wheel in that triangle of that love triangle or triangle of friendship.
Yeah, which she does not. Because her and Fiero had just like basically got married.
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, it's like obviously you came in a little late, but be sure to go in and watch the replay.
And be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet.
Yes, subscribe to Liz's channel.
But what was it? So, why don't you go ahead and explain for good?
But now I think in this song, I think once Glinda finds out, she becomes a little jealous.
Oh yeah.
Her school age behavior sort of comes back out.
Yeah.
And so she then she kind of lashes out at Elphaba later.
What was I gonna say? Do you want to say the line? Because I really would rather not say it, because it just, I don't know why it makes me cringe. I hate it.
Okay, so the final lines go.
What's wrong?
Elphaba sings "Holding You As Long As You're Mine," and Fiero says, "What is it?" And then Liz absolutely hates this line.
I hate it. I really do. It's the only thing
Elphaba says, "It's just for the first time. I feel wicked."
Title drop.
But now,
can you type in my YouTube channel name?
Yeah, Michelle, the link to her channel is in the description. Go down into the description of my video and you can find it there. Yeah, so then you and I were talking about this when we watched it. This song is basically a cover for a moment in the book.
Yeah, for them, like, you know, getting the dirty on, so to speak.
They start to have a more physical relationship.
Yeah, I can.
This song is basically a cover for that.
Actually, hang on. Give me 1 minute, and I guarantee you. Here we go. Here's a little picture. That I happen.
And thank God it's in shadow. Thank God it's in shadow.
Yeah, I happen to have bookmarked, and I don't know why I have it bookmarked.
Well, apparently Brianna likes Elphaba's line after she says that.
Oh god. Oh wait, there's another line. Hang on. I gotta find. Oh, okay. So this is like one of the main things that I love about the book. Okay, it's a little. I apologize for my awful reading, but Okay, she says, Alfie, get in this cab. Don't be a fool. Glinda cried. The driver addresses blah 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 blah. You'll be all right, Elphaba said. Now that you're a seasoned traveler, this is just the return leg of a voyage you already know. She put her face against Glinda's and kissed her. Hold out if you can, she murmured, and kisses her again. Hold out, my sweet. That's like my favorite little part of style.
Oh yeah, and see, this is a reason that Liz really ships Elphaba and Glinda as a couple.
Because they genuinely they bring the best out of one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Glinda brings out the best in Elphaba, and Elphaba brings out the best in Glinda, which is hence the For Good song, which I'll get to in a minute. But now, my favorite little scene is we see Dorothy and the house ball on Nessa. So at this point, Wizard of Oz has taken place, and not Glinda. Elphaba's not Elphaba. Oh my God, Dorothy Gale is off to see the wizard.
Oh yeah. So at the moment you actually see when they show the set with the house and the yellow brick road, Dorothy has already left.
Yep.
She literally just stepped onto the yellow brick road.
Yay! Thank you, Michelle.
Mm-hmm. So Dorothy has literally just stepped off the yellow brick road when Elphaba and Glinda show up and have this conversation.
Yeah, and
isn't this when they have the cat fight?
Yeah, and so just to like recap quick about the right before the cat fight, I can literally recite the scene perfectly. So Glinda's like on her knees, like mourning in Nessa, and she says, "Oh, Nessa, blah 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 blah," and then Elphaba walks in from upstage left, and she says, "What a touching display of." She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try to do this, yeah." Feel free to laugh at it because I know I'm going to make a fool of myself. She's like, oh, what a touching display of grief. I don't believe we have anything left to discuss. I wanted something to remember her by. All that was left of her were those shoes. And now that wretched little farm girl has walked off with them. Oh, gosh. So if you don't mind, I'd like a moment alone to say goodbye to my sister. And then she's like, oh, Nessa, I'm so sorry. Oh, Elfie, don't blame yourself. It's a tragedy. It is to have a house fall on you. But accidents will happen. You think this was an accident? No. What? Do you think this was an accident? Well, maybe not an accident. Maybe she's like, oh, what'd you call it? And she says, Glinda says, a regime change. And she's like, oh, so you think cyclones disappear out of the blue? And then Glinda says, well, I don't know. And everybody says, no, of course you don't. You're too busy telling how wonderful everything is. I'm doing very fast. I know I am. You're telling everybody how wonderful everything is. He says, well, I'm a public figure now. People expect me to be, and then Elphaba says, lie, and she says, be encouraging, and the most nasty voice I've ever heard. But, and then she's like, well, what have you been doing besides riding around on that dusty old thing, pointing out to her broom? He said, well, not all of us can come and go by double. And whose invention was that? The wizard's, even though if it wasn't, I'm sure he'd still take credit for it because she knows how evil the wizard is, actually. And then she says, well, a lot of us are taking these that don't belong to us, referencing back to Fiyero. And she's like, no, so this is I did this little monologue for my acting class. So she's like, oh God, now wait just a clock tick. I know it must be difficult for that blissful blonde brain of yours to comprehend that someone like him suddenly choose someone like me. But it's happened. It's real. And you can wave that ridiculous wand all you want. You can't change it. He never belonged to you. He never belonged to you. He doesn't love you, and he never did. He loves me. And at that point, he'd slap across Elphaba's face. And that's
it's like, poor Idina Menzel. Can you imagine how many times a day, week, month, year she had to get slapped?
They actually practiced it. They would actually practice it. So no one actually ever got slapped, only on a few times where they were actually either standing too close or trying too hard. But the show that we watched, poor Kristen Chenoweth, because Idina actually slapped her, which is why she lost her footing. She's like, ha ha ha, feel better? And she says, yes, I do. And then she's like, good. And she slaps Glinda back. She says, so do I. But Idina actually slapped Glinda. that time, and so
they were still trying to get the spacing right.
Yep. And so
it's similar to the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Show, where the stunt people throw a punch in front of the person or along them, and then they just move their head.
Yeah. So like,
and they do like and they use an instrument or a sound effect for the.
Yeah. And so
it's probably literally just someone standing down in the orchestra just going.
Yeah. It's absolutely.
Into the microphone.
But and so they have this little fight. And
which like typical cat fight, like I think Glenna gets into a headlock and like.
No, she literally just she grabs her by the neck. She basically just starts wailing on Alpha with her hat, but she has to be careful because that's where the second mic is. And so then the guards show up, and then Fierro comes to rescue. What?
So then the guards interfere, and then Elphaba leaves.
Yeah, and then we find out Fierro is put on display until he tells her where the witch is, and then comes.
Oh yeah, and how they put him on display? They tie his arms out in a pole like this, and they set him up on a vertical pole that's set out in the field.
Like a cross, basically like Jesus style. Not to be religious or anything, but basically how Jesus.
That's when Elphaba pulls out the Grimoire again and casts the spell, which turns Fierro into, you guessed it, the Scarecrow.
Yep. And then comes my favorite song in the entire show. Because
but before we say that, this will be for the discussion later when we talk about the discrepancies in the storyline between Wicked and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. So, No Good Deed is by far my favorite number in the entire show. Even more, I love it more than Defying Gravity, mainly because it is the turning point of Elphaba. Long story short, I'm not going to sing the entire song for you because A, it has a crazy riff in it, and B, and also I promised Jeff I'd sing for good. But what?
But also, I think the first words that Idina sings in No Good Deed are the spell.
Yeah, Elikanamen, Namen, Atum, Atum, Elikanamen. She says that twice, and then she says
Namen, Atum, Atum, Elikanamen. Sorry, I have the lyrics pulled up on Apple Music.
She says Elikanamen. Let his bones never break.
Let his blood leave no stain. Though they beat him, let him feel no pain. Yep. Let his bones never break. And however they try to destroy him, let him never die, let him never die. And then she does the spell twice again.
Yeah, and then she goes into singing how the meaning behind No Good Deed.
What good is this chanting? I don't even know what I'm reading. Little does she know she's actually turning him into the Scarecrow.
Oh no, she kind of does know because she's singing it. She says the spell anyway, so she kind of has a good. At this point, she kind of understands Grimoire enough to know what she's doing. All she cares about what it does, as long as it keeps him alive. And so the big meaning behind No Good Deed is basically, like I said, it's the turning point of the Wicked Witch. It's like she's like, okay, you know what? I'm tired of this. I've tried to do good for so many years, and it's always backfired on me. So instead of that is way too long to read. But instead of this, I'm gonna be like, you know what? And she actually says in the song, right before the big riff at the end, she says, so be it then. Let all Oz be agreed. I'm wicked through and through. Oh no, wait, what is it? It's before that. Don't say anything, Mike. I need to be remembered. She says, let all Oz be agreed. I'm wicked through and through. And since I could not succeed, Fierro saving you. I promise
no good deed will I attempt to do again, again. No good deed will I do again.
So because she was not able to save Fierro, she's like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of losing the people I love because of my magic. And so she's like, if they want me to be wicked, if they want me to be this evil wicked witch, I will be this evil wicked witch. I'm tired of trying to convince them.
That was the final turning point.
Yeah, and she's wicked. She's not really wicked, but like she's tired of trying to convince people that she's doing good. And going to the book, that there is a moment in there she's like, okay, no, but this time Fierro is actually dead. In the book, he actually falls and dies. And when she finds out, she gets frustrated enough to like she study the Grimoire more and try and find spells and stuff. And it's clear in the book when the turning point is for her. But after that, she's just like, I'm done. Let's just do this. And so she goes and obviously kidnaps Dorothy, which goes into the witch hunt.
Mm-hmm.
The March of the Witch Hunt, which is where Bach explains everything. And I'm going to let Michael take that away because I'll explain for good because that way I can make Jeff happy and sing.
But now, A March of the Witch Hunters, again, is a small, like, transition song. It's only a minute and a half long. But then they go into For Good, which is a whole 5-minute song. At least on the soundtrack, it's a 5-minute song. I think in the actual show, it's longer because there's more dialogue in between.
But so Bob basically says, due to her made of tin, her spell made this occur. For once, I'm glad I'm heartless. I'll be heartless killing her. And then he says, see, the lion also has a grievance to repay. If she let him fight his own battles when he was young, he wouldn't be a coward today, which is the lion cub from the beginning of the show.
Which then becomes the cowardly lion.
Yeah, I'm talking way too fast. I need to slow the hell down.
Yeah, you've been doing that the whole stream, but I didn't want to say anything about it.
Why didn't you? If I talk too fast, y'all let me know, because I get excited when I talk about, and if you don't tell me, I'm just going to talk faster and faster and faster. You guys have got to tell me to slow down.
Well, it's like, in all fairness, though, like when I'm live streaming, I do that too. I notice that I tend to speak a little faster than I normally do in real life.
I said I never read the book, but I don't know the storyline. I just had the CD when she sang the part, and there I was like, he has to be the student. Yes, that's correct, Michelle. I'm sorry, I just now read all that. But so going to For Good, which I love the German version. Thanks. Because the German version of For Good, it is straight up a love song. Like I've heard. I haven't actually tried this, but I probably should. For how much I love Wicked. But like, if you look at the lyrics of For Good, it's straight up a love song. They're like, so another fun little thing that happens before the song is we hear Dorothy crying, and she's like, "Oh, for Oz's sake, stop crying. I can't take it anymore. It's really old brat, and blah 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 blah." And then Glinda comes in, and she says, Elphaba's like, "Go away." And she's like, I don't know, I can't remember what Glinda says. She's like, says something. She's like, "Go away." And she's like, "Oh, Elphaba, you have to stop. You've gone too far. I mean, come on, they're just shoes. Let it go." Ha 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 ha.
Just to put it into context, so this song is happening at the same time that the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow are rescuing Dorothy from the castle, and they're trying to escape. And this song happens right up until the point before the Wicked Witch corners them and then melts.
Yeah, and so it's basically telling the song is basically them saying, because Elphaba receives a letter from Tristry saying that Fiyero is dead, and so she's like, you know what? Okay, I surrender. I give up. So she gets the water, and Glinda's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "You need to leave. You can't be here. You can't be seen here." She's like, "No, I'll go to them. I'll go tell them the truth." And Elphaba's worried that the people of Oz are going to turn on Glinda if she tells them the truth, and she makes her swear that even after Elphaba's gone, she makes her swear not to tell the people of Oz the truth, which is why the Wizard of Oz happens the way it does, because she keeps her promise and she doesn't tell them anything. And so they basically go into saying how much each one of them have changed. I'm going to sing Elphaba's part because I sound better singing Elphaba's part, but Glinda basically says, I'm going to tell blah, 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 blah. I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I am who I am today because I knew you. So she's basically saying, you've made me this powerful, independent woman, and oh God. Gonna keep my promise to Jeff because, you know, I'm a woman of my word, even though I know I can't sing. So I'm gonna...
Honestly, you do a really good Glinda.
Thank you.
Like, your voice matches up very well with Kristen's.
Should I do popular instead then?
No, do this one. Do
Elpha or Glinda?
Glinda.
Do Glinda? Okay. Okay. How fast must we go if we let them, and we help them in return? Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet through the orbit as it passes the sun. Like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the world. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? 'Cause I knew you. I have been changed for good. That's all y'all getting. I kept my
Good. That was good.
I kept my promise to you, Jeff. So, hey guys, we got 2 new people. So, For Good is probably when I see this show live again it's gonna make me cry because Mike actually does not know this. I saw Kristen Chenoweth's last show, and it made me bawl. And I know when I see the show again, I'm gonna cry like a baby. But what's funny is Kristen's show was probably one of the funniest shows ever, even though it wasn't supposed to be funny. There's a little part, and I hate going all the way back to Act 1, but there's a little part where she says, "Come with me to the Emerald City," and Glenn is like, "Oh, I'm always going to the Emerald City." But and Kristen, I keep wanting to see Kristen's do it. In Kristen Chenoweth's last show, Adina tells her, "Stay with me. I'm gonna miss you, and Oz is never gonna be the same without you." And then Kristen just balls. And then during Defying Gravity, there's a little number, and her voice cracks, and Adina laughs. And then doing For Good, Kristen is struggling so hard. When was the last set of questions when we Disney? What?
Oh, they must have been doing a Disney trivia last night.
Oh. So Kristen was struggling so hard doing For Good because it's her last show, and I feel like these are the kind of characters when you play them for as long as these women have, you grow attached to them, and it's tough to say goodbye to them. But anyway, back to where we were at. After they're done singing, the ensemble starts singing "No One Wants the Wicked" part, like very softly, as Elphaba makes Glinda hide behind a sheet, and then she pulls the sheet around, and then you see the wicked witch melt.
Oh yeah, and also at the moment when Elphaba goes around the corner, it's like a silhouette diagram of you see the Wicked Witch, and then you see the water getting thrown on her. You see her melt, or I think it's actually the actress playing Elphaba like miming melting, and then she goes through the trap door on the floor. She goes through a trap door on the floor, and she leaves the hat on stage. Or the guy who plays the monkey. Pulls the hat, and then he puts it on the spot.
And then,
and then the screen moves away, and then you just see the hat sitting there.
Yeah, and then we find that Chistry had the green elixir that Elphaba had the only thing that she had of her mother. We forgot to mention that. But Glinda picks up. She said, "Give it back to me. It belonged to my mother." Anyway, that's not the point. Point is, Glinda recognizes the bottle from earlier, and we find out. Probably the biggest plot twist in the entire show is that
it shocked me.
Yeah, so the reason why Elphaba was so powerful, her magic was stronger than anyone ever in Oz, is because she was, to quote Madame Morrible, a child of both worlds. So her mother was from Oz, her father was from our world, so her father can only be one person, and that's obviously, the wizard. So he has an identical bottle. And he remembers there's a little number at the beginning where he's like, "Have another drink, my dark-eyed beauty," and anything. So we find out that Elphaba's father was the wizard, and he is overfilled with regret because he is the reason why she's dead, basically. He's like, "Oh, I always wanted to be your father." And Glenda's like, "I want you to leave Oz." She's like, "Did you hear what I said?" And then he's like, "Yes, your goodness." And then she tells off Madame Morrible. Oh, Glinda, I'm so proud of you. she says, "Oh, how would you favor in captivity?" She's like, "What?" She's like, "Captivity." What? She's like, "Prison." She basically sends Marilyn Monroe to prison because she can. So now she's the new ruler of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget anything before the next big reveal?
No, because then obviously Glinda confronts the old headmistress, has her arrested,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Scarecrow re-enters the picture because he's in Oz at this point because he was with Dorothy.
And we find out that Elphaba was not actually dead. She faked her death because water does not melt her. Because at some point, and we also did not mention this in Act 1, it starts raining on her, and apparently the water melts the Wicked Witch, but she didn't melt. So,
which the only reason that whole story about water melting her was it was shortly after the headmistress was telling people of Oz that she was wicked, and all the people of Oz started making up these fables about her.
I hear
about how she can peel away her skin and she has a third eye, which I just realized today that mention of and she has a third eye. I realized that kind of references to her crystal ball.
Yeah.
But then they said, and pure water can melt her.
I heard her soul is so unclean. The pure water can melt her. What? Melt her, please! Someone go and melt her. Yeah. So.
So then the Scarecrow goes over to a part of the stage and he knocks.
It worked.
And then Elphaba comes back up out of the stage. She's totally fine. It was a trick.
Mm-hmm. And then, but no one. So they faked their deaths because they want a fresh start, and they had to leave Oz because everyone thinks they're dead, which is great. So no one's gonna be looking for them. But Elphaba just really wants Glinda to know that she's alive, which is where a lot of the fan fiction comes from. Is that like, oh, what would it be like if Glinda knew that Elphaba was alive, or what would it be like if Glinda went with Elphaba doing Defying Gravity? And I gotta tell you, a lot of the fan fiction I've read about Wicked is actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, some of it's really good, like how Elphaba keeps making her think she's dead, but makes her think she's a ghost and all that. It's actually very good fan fiction, except for the the perverted ones that I really try to stay away from.
Yeah.
But and then she's just like, oh, I just wish that Glinda could know. And then it ends basically the same way it began, with her saying, "Oh, people of Oz, the Wicked Witch is dead," and blah blah blah. And then no one warns the Wicked plays again, and it's the final number of Wicked, and it literally ends with Wicked.
And then they do the curtain call.
Yep. So we literally just recapped over a 2-hour play in an hour and 42 minutes. That is good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And that's how we probably could have just acted it out with us too. But yeah. So anyway, so now let's get into the continuity between Wicked and the Wizard of Oz, because obviously there are some things that do happen, but then there are some things that are different.
My little fact book here that I'm going to be sharing with you all as we're going over the continuity errors.
So now, obviously, let's mention the big three: the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man,
and the Scarecrow.
And the Scarecrow. So in the musical, when she turns Fiyero into the Scarecrow, he still retains his memory. But then, if he still retains his memory in Wicked, why did he not recognize her in the Wizard of Oz? Same thing with Tin Man and Cowardly Lion.
I have a theory about that, actually. What I'm thinking is that maybe I feel like something happened to Elphaba and he had to go back to Oz for some reason, but somebody recognized him and a fight happened, and just like the Tin Man, he lost his memory, and so or they capture him and put him back up on the post and make him and cause him to lose his memory either way. Yeah. So
but it's how would that have worked? Because then he meets Dorothy, they go to Oz, and they get confronted by the witch.
Yeah, see, that's
right at the end of Wicked is when she melts, which when she would have been confronting Dorothy.
See, that's the Wicked show.
That doesn't line up.
That's the one thing with Wicked, you guys. The big thing with Wicked is that you have to understand is that it's not exactly tied to the Wizard of Oz. It has things that connect it, but it ends in a totally different way. It's like a flow chart sort of. They start the same way, but then they split off and go different ways.
It's like an alternate universe.
Exactly.
And that, when you and I were talking yesterday, that's how I described Oz the Great and Powerful. It's it's a alternate It's like an alternate telling or an alternate universe of Oz.
Exactly. That's exactly. My legs fell asleep, so I'm just trying to get comfortable again.
Yeah, that's okay.
But I'm like reviewing my notes real quick. You can keep going. Yeah, 40 yards.
So then,
What?
I was like, I'm trying to think. So there was the Cowardly Lion, there was the Tin Man, there was the Scarecrow.
What about you guys? Do you have any questions about Wicked you want to answer, or about anything, honestly? Because I'm not just an expert on Wicked, I'm also an expert on Frozen, Hamilton, Anastasia, Addams Family, and a few others.
Yeah, because like I'm trying to remember any other tie-ins from Wizard of Oz that they mentioned.
They mentioned. I don't know. I think the main three are the big tie-ins.
Although clearly, Elphaba came across Dorothy.
Yeah, and Dorothy's also in the Wicked book, I should mention, but she's less violent and less threatening with her, and she's like, I'll see if I can find the conversation real quick, and Michael, you can say something while I look for this. Someone please call it Milton.
Yeah, like also guys, when Liz and I were watching this together, we were video chatting on Instagram, and whenever like a crazy plot twist happened, I would react, and Liz was taking screenshots of my face, and I'm afraid that she's gonna post them somewhere and just totally embarrass me.
Yippity.
Because I wasn't just reacting like, oh, I was like literally like jaw to the floor.
No more weekend. No lost to alone. No lost the joy without our love. Am I supposed to ask for the shoes ones? Dorothy asked for the home. I'm trying to find this because it's why does that say TikTok? Oh my god. Wait. Nope. Scarecrow. Where is it?
So Michelle asks, so was the Tin Man Elphaba's sister's boyfriend?
No.
Oh, I think he was. So Elphaba's sister was essentially the mayor or the leader of Munchkinland.
Yeah, and so
And
the Tin Man was just a guy who had a crush on Glinda, but Elphaba's sister had a crush on the Tin Man.
so lots of love triangles in this musical.
Oh, and apparently,
so Putt or Bach liked Glinda, but Glinda loved the prince. But Elphaba's sister liked Bach.
Correct.
But then when Bach verbally chewed out Elphaba's sister, that's when Elphaba's sister cursed him to have no heart. Correct. And that's why Elphaba had to cast a spell to turn him into the Tin Man. But now that's one of the tie-ins as to why the Tin Man decides to go with Dorothy to Oz, so that way he can get his heart back.
Correct the window. He can't.
And also, I think the Tin Man's human character references the time earlier in the performance. He says like tick-tock or something. So I think that was also a nod to the character he would later become later in one of the later acts.
Correct the window.
And now granted, Tin Man and Scarecrow are the only full characters you see. The only part you see of the Cowardly Lion full grown was his tail.
Yes, you don't see. I mean, can you blame him?
Because I think he was like, in the moment he was like hiding behind a wall, so all you see is his tail shaking because he's clearly afraid.
Yeah, and also gonna pull out.
And you just see the Tin Man like yanking on his tail.
Hold on. I think I need to put the pin code. you fool that Dorothy is not for messing with.
Oh yeah. But it's like I made this comparison yesterday or the day before. The song that Elphaba and the Prince sing together when she says, "And now I truly feel, and now for once I feel wicked."
Yep.
The fact that they changed that from the book to the play was similar to the change they made from the book of Stephen King's It to the miniseries and the movie. Because for anyone who has read Stephen King's It, you know that the scene in the miniseries in the movie where the losers make the blood pact to come back to fight it when he returns.
Yeah.
That scene was very different in the book, and I'm not gonna go into detail because it's that bad.
Okay. So.
But it ties in. It ties into the girl's abuse that she endures from her father in it. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Okay, so this now shows you how Dorothy was compared to what you see in Wizard of Oz, compared to what you see in Wicked, and compared to what you see in the book. Dorothy finds out that the shoes belong to her sister, obviously, and she finds out. Yeah, and she finds out.
Her name was Nessa, right? I need to start remembering character names.
Yeah, she says. The fact is that my sister was alive before you arrived, and now she's dead. Oh, and I'm so very sorry about that," said Dorothy nervously. Blah, 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 blah. She hugs Elphaba, and Elphaba says, "Get off me. I hate false sentiment. It makes my skin crawl. Go hold on with the blah, 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 blah. Let go. Will you go with your sister? That's not the point." She snapped. Because I was very close to my mama, and when she and Papa were lost at sea, I could hardly bear it. Lost at sea. How do you mean? She detached the kid, blah blah blah, and they actually have like a civil conversation.
So Michelle has two questions. Michelle has a thought and a question right here. So her thought is, but I thought that at the end of Dancing Through Life that Elphaba's sister and that one guy got together. I think she's talking about Bach.
Oh, he was just doing that because Galindo's like, there's a part in Dancing Through Life. She's like, you know what be eating, because Bach's like, oh, I hope you'll save a dance for me, and she's like, oh, you want to know what be eating kinder? You see that poor defenseless girl over there? It would mean the world to me if somebody would ask her to dance. And he's like, oh, I will. He's like, I'll do anything for you. And so he basically just is nice to Nessa because Glinda asked him to.
So like there are two major love triangles in this show. Elphaba, Fiyero, and Glinda, but then there's also Glinda, Bach, and Nessa. But now, so Michelle also had this question. What happened to the lion in the beginning of the play?
He was...
So I can explain this one. So when the Cowardly Lion is brought into the story at the very beginning, he's a cub at this point. And he's brought in so that way they can figure out what's going on with the animals, because the animals are slowly reverting from some of the animals with a capital A are going from their anthropomorphic abilities to just being regular, like barnyard animals. They don't talk. They don't walk on two legs, things like that. So the lion was brought in as a cub to experiment on him to find out why the animals are going from their anthropomorphic state to their strictly primitive animal state. But I think Elphaba stops it. Elphaba stops it and gets the lion cub away.
Yeah.
Because of the traumatic experience of being brought in and poked and prodded, he gained a fear of animals or a fear of people, and that's why he became the Cowardly Lion.
Correct window.
And now, obviously, in the movie, when you first meet him, he's trying to act all big and tough, but then one flick on the nose from Dorothy, and that just drops.
And also, another thing about the Wizard of Oz, which I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know, is when he starts going like, "Oh, why do you have to hit me?" So you can see Judy Garland crack a smile during that scene because she could not keep it together. That was the only scene that they filmed that she was able to keep a straight face for the longest time, but she still cracked a smile. So guys, the next time you watch Wizard of Oz, take a look and watch out for that.
Okay, after this stream, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that scene and watch for the smile.
Like a little crack. She looks like this.
It was like one of these.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in the crook of her mouth.
Just enough that you can see it. But I found this little line to show how nice Elphaba was to Dorothy in Wicked, to show that she's not wicked. She basically like tells her about her system, blah 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 blah. And Elphaba says, please will you not cling so and come in for something to eat. And she says, come on, you come to the lion. And so Dorothy and Elphaba have a nice little civilized dinner, and they actually are like proper, and she's not wicked. And Dorothy like wishes, she says several times in the book, I would give you the shoes if I could, and she tries to like take them off, and like she's really trying to get them off of her.
Oh, now that you say this, now this sounds like the tie-in to The Wizard of Oz when the witch is trying to get the shoes from Dorothy. And the witch is like, those shoes will never come off as long as you're alive. And Dorothy's basically saying, if I could give them to you, I would.
Yeah, that's good. Lock the door.
No. The musical is that they're really trying to show the Wicked Witch in a better light. That she wasn't born that way. She wasn't born evil or wicked. It was it was the way the people around her treated her is what pushed her to reach that point.
So that's like also a life lesson to like that we enhances like to treat people how you want to be treated, because you never know what
it's not. But also, like I mentioned this earlier, family isn't who you share blood with, it's who loves you and who loves you back.
Exactly. And it says right here, like she all hell breaks loose in the book is when she finds out that Dorothy's there to kill her, and like be friends with her. She says, Dorothy, she says, no, cried Dorothy, I'll go with you, just don't hurt Toto, which goes back to her taking Toto away from Dorothy. He's done nothing to you. She turned to Leah and said, please don't let that monkey hurt my Toto. The lion is useless. Don't trust him to save my little dog. Release me, mumbled the witch. Whatever my fault, I don't deserve this. And she pushes Dorothy into the tower. Tell me, said the witch. I'm all alone in this strange land. Just don't make me do this. She says, you came to kill me and then steal the grimoire. I don't know what you're talking about. First, give me the shoes, said the witch. For they're mine. Then we'll talk. I can't. They won't come off, said the girl. I think that Glinda put a spell on them. I've been trying to get them off for days. My socks are so sweaty. It's not to be believed. Give them to me, snarled the witch. If you go back to the wizard with them, you'll be playing right into his hands. No, they're stuck. So like the shoes have more power in the book, basically, is what the point of this thing is. She's like, she knows that if she gets them, she can do what she's always wanted to do and help the animals. And Dorothy tries. She really does. And it basically gets to the point where she's like, the only way to get the shoes off is to kill you. But Elphaba in the book is trying to find a spell, because she believes that there's a spell in the grimoire that can release the shoes, and that is what Elphaba is trying to do. But she's cut short because the lion interrupts, and because he thinks that the witch is gonna kill Dorothy. So technically, in the book, it's the lion's fault that she dies, not necessarily Dorothy. So anyway, and also Michael did not know the name of the Wicked Witch's castle. The castle that the Wicked Witch is in has a name, and it's called Kiamako, which for those of you who do not know that, now you do. My favorite part in the Wizard of Oz is when the lion gets scared.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I love that. That's bad that I like that. But I think after this,
when the wizard says, I said go, and the lion just like jumps up for a second and just runs and just does a full head dive out of the freaking window. That moment made me laugh.
That part always makes me laugh. I don't know why, but here, the guy who wrote The Wizard of Oz. I can show y'all how Elphaba got her name. So if you look right up here at the top, you can see the L. Frank, how we say his last name. So you get the L.
Oh yeah, hold on. There we go.
I'm just trying to get closer. So you can see the you see. Oh my god, I don't even think I can. Okay, I'm doing it backwards. So L, and then from the Frank you get Fa.
Oh, L. Frank Baum.
Yeah, so that's how they got you got Elphaba. That's how Elphaba got her name. Fun little fact. I'm probably straight up gonna go and read this again because I'm not. It is such a good book, and so the second book's not that good because apparently Elphaba has a son, so named Leah, which is completely unrelated, but.
And apparently it was from the Scarecrow.
Yeah, before he became a human.
Before he was turned into the Scarecrow.
Yeah, when they were having the little.
When they were singing their song.
Yeah, when they were having the little beautiful moment here. But the thing was, Elphaba went into a coma in the book, and she doesn't. For all she knows, Leah can be her child because she doesn't remember if she was pregnant. She would have had that child during what is the book called? The book is called Wicked: The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West. I got this one, and I got this one. This one has book 1 and 2 because the second book is called Son of the Witch. I still need to see Return to Oz. I still need to read Return to Oz, but then I would have read them all. So, y'all, if you guys are looking for a fun read, just go ahead and read it. It is really a good book. I personally love the book more than I love the Broadway show, and more than I love the Wizard of Oz because it gives you a whole new respect for the Wicked Witch. It's unreal how good this book is, and the audiobook. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I used the audiobook because I'm lazy. But after that, I've read this book once a month, and as you can tell, I'm like that far into this month. So there's this one. Hang on, there's four.
Hey Liz, if you can reach out to Brianna on Instagram or something and send her a link to find the copy of the book that you have with both copies.
This one?
Yeah, if you can send Brianna a link to where to buy that book.
You can get this on Amazon. I think it was $32, which isn't bad. And also, it has a map of Oz. So I'm gonna give y'all a little geography lesson real quick for Wicked.
Hold on. There you go.
Little geography lesson real quick. Okay. So y'all know Munchkin Land right over here. Munchkin Land's right here. Use my pencil, it has a tip. So you got Munchkin Land right here, okay? So we all know that place from Wizard of Oz. But Elphaba is from, where is it? The Vineyard. Elphaba is actually from this place right here called the Gillicanese. Oh, no, that's Glinda. Glinda's from the Gillicanese. And Elphaba is from, where is it? It's down here in Quadling country. So that's where Elphaba's from. That shows you how far apart they grew up. So Glinda? No, that's not Glinda. Where is it? Glinda's over here. Elphaba's all the way down here, and this is in Shiz. Is Shiz University in here? I hope so. Oh yeah, Shiz is right here. So they both had to travel a very far distance to get to Shiz University. So, and then you got the Emerald City right there, Jenna. So a little geography lesson for y'all. And also has a little.
Oh, yeah, and where is Elphaba's castle located?
Oh, that is. I just saw. Oh, it's right here. It's actually not that far from Shiz University, which is surprising. So Camel Co is right here.
Oh, okay, and clearly that big castle in the middle is the Emerald City.
Yep, and then Shiz University is right here. That's the school.
Okay. Although it makes sense that Elphaba's castle is right there because obviously, as we know from the Wizard of Oz, her castle was up in the mountains.
Correct. And
so that makes geographical sense.
Yeah, and so does this have all 4 books in reading? Like, hang on, I'm trying to see if.
Okay, so Michelle asked this question. So what's the connection with Dorothy recognizing the characters from Oz and also them in Kansas? So I think this is her talking about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, I think it's her uncles.
Yeah. I think it's because it's basically a dream is what her parents think, but in reality it's not. Here. So the other book.
So her uncles were the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, respectively. And the psychic that she comes across before the tornado strikes her house is the man who is the wizard.
Yeah. No,
then
actually, he played
obviously,
three other characters.
Oh yeah, and then also the lady that wanted Dorothy's dog at the beginning of the movie, Miss Gulch, was the Wicked Witch.
Rest in peace, Margaret Hamilton. Sorry.
And then, but yeah, like you said, the actor that played the wizard and the psychic also played the doorman. He played the guard. Yeah, he played the doorman. He played the carriage driver.
And the guard who lets him in.
Oh yeah, the doorman.
So
the doorman at the front of Oz.
Yeah.
The carriage driver and then the doorman who lets them in to see Oz.
Yeah, the wizard, but yeah.
The wizard.
So the other books that are in the Wicked it's actually called the Wicked Years. Is so the first one is Wicked, the Life and Times of the Wicked Witch, and then you have the Son of the Witch, A Lion Among Men, and then you have Return to Oz. I think it's the last book.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, the second book it's slow. It's kind of slow, but I have to read The Lion, and then I still need to read Return to Oz. So I'm probably about to go on. I'm gonna go on Amazon right now and just buy them. Why not? Because I freaking love Wicked.
Okay, Michelle says this little tidbit. I know that the guy who wrote the book came up with the Magical Land of Oz because he was looking at a file cabinet when he was telling the story, and he saw that name did that.
Yeah, that's correct. That is, I watched the documentary. That's right. Oh my god, if Amazon doesn't have this book, I'm gonna cry. But I can't stress this enough. Read the book. It's so good.
I mean, books tend to be better than movies anyway. Like, especially like I'll testify, the Harry Potter books much better than the movies.
Agree to disagree. Why? What did I say the third book was? The Lion Among Men?
Yeah, something like that.
Found the audiobook. Oh, Alibis. Alibis is the fourth final volume. Oh, look at this cover.
Oh yeah, so now, does anyone have any questions for Liz or anything before
we wrap it up?
Before we wrap it up? Because like right now, you're going to school up in South Carolina for theater, right?
Yes, I am. I have a year and a half left. My end game job is I want to be a Justice for Wicked because hey, don't be dissing here. I'm not dissing Harry Potter. No one's dissing Harry Potter. But I want to be a Justice for Wicked because I want to be able to take care of these beautiful costumes that they made. Because I wish I could show y'all how. Let me see. Can I do screen?
Yeah, I think you can share your screen. So if you want to look up some of the costumes, you can.
Yeah, I'm doing that now. As soon as
I'll let you go solo for a little bit.
All right. So okay. So can you all see my screen right now? I'm gonna take that as yes.
Oh
okay.
Wait, hold on.
Oh God.
Well, okay.
Hang on, no,
I don't think.
No, it's because I had to change tabs. Bring it back up real quick.
Okay. Okay, there we go.
Okay, yeah, it's because I had to change tabs. So, okay, let me go to google.com. So, I'm going to just show you all if you... Why are you taking me here? I don't want to go here. Thank you. Okay. Wicked costumes. Oh, I don't know what that noise was. So, like, here's some of the pictures from the One Short Day.
So now those are the Citizens of Oz costumes, right?
Yes, correct. They are some of the costumes for the citizens.
So like obviously, so like you see the traditional green that comes with being an Oz, but they also added gold, blue.
Yep. And then this is Elphaba's dress.
And it's like also I think they added the blue and the gold to be a stark contrast to obviously Elphaba's outfits, which is just a straight black.
Yeah, that's correct. These are all Glinda's costumes, all the ones that she has. Actually, technically, this is it. These are all Glinda's costumes. But I'm trying to find. Okay, this is oh, by the way, this is Willemine, my go-to witch who I freaking love and have
who has sung Wicked in English, Dutch, and German, I think.
Correct. Yes, correct. Like the amount of detail, like you guys can, if I can zoom in. Okay, there we go. Like the amount of detail that goes into this costume, you guys just gotta take a minute to look at all that.
But also, it's like, I see what you mean about her eyes. Her eyes are so sharp. Like, especially with the makeup, it's like it's literally like she's staring into your soul.
Yeah, and like her eyes are like this bright green, so it suits her so well. But like you guys can just tell, like take a look at the costume. Like this dress weighs about 17 to 20 pounds. Took about
40 yards of fabric.
Yeah, 40 yards of fabric. And each individual part it took like there's about 50 Elphaba dresses that have been made throughout the entire production because each Elphaba dress is custom made for the actress.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, not all the actresses are going to be the exact same body dimensions.
Yes, exactly. And so, flying monkeys. What else? So each little piece of Elphaba's costume, like each ruffle like this, every little piece took about 3 days to hand bead. Anywhere you see a bead, it took 3 days to hand bead every piece of that dress. And the skirt alone down here, this little part right here, the skirt alone took 3 weeks to construct. And so it's just like it's a beautiful dress, and I freaking love it.
So Liz is. Brianna asked Liz, "Do you enjoy studying theater? Because I want to go back to school and study acting, mainly theater."
Yeah, I do. I love theater more. I was actually gonna major in film and production, but and I get made fun of this. I get teased about this a lot because people think this is a stupid reason for me to change my major. But when I wasn't actually thinking about theater. I enjoy doing it and whatnot, but I wasn't like all in like, oh, I want to do this until I went to go see Frozen on Broadway and seeing it front row and seeing the details and Casey Levy's dress, and I just add that dress makes her boobs look good. I'm just saying, that's just my lesbian showing. Anyway, sorry, not the point. Point is, the dress transformation from her coronation dress to her ice dress, I was like, it blew me away because I wanted to know how they did it. I wanted to learn all the technical aspects of it, and I was like, you know what? I can see myself doing this. And then I watched a whole bunch of.
I think it's like, so obviously her.
Oh, I know how they did it.
Her blue dress is underneath her coronation dress. Yeah. I think it's just a simple like pull of the cord.
Nope.
Oh no, wait, that was in the that was the Disneyland version where the actor pulls the cord and then the.
That's the cheap Disney version. Now,
so how do they do it in the Broadway show?
So top of the line Broadway. All right. So here's okay. So can I do a screen share again? I'm gonna pull up a quick picture of it so I can show y'all.
Okay.
Frozen because it's actually really amazing. Broadway.
Oh wait, I think I remember now. I think it's like she stands on a certain part of the stage, and the coronation dress is designed to just pull away.
Sort of, yeah.
Because I think it was on Good Morning America or The View. Yeah. They had her perform it, and like I saw the dress pull away from like the center of her chest off of her. So it goes from her chest to her shoulders, down her arms, and then you see the ice dress underneath. Hold on.
Okay, do y'all see my screen?
Now they do.
Okay, so I'm trying to find. Okay, here. This is a better picture. So, as you just saw, like right there. So, okay. So now I'm gonna.
So zoom in on that GIF again. Zoom in on that GIF a little more.
Okay, I just lost it, so I'm gonna see if I can find it again. Okay, so I'm gonna just go based off of this. So like how she is right now. Okay, here. This is better. Okay, so behind the stairs, she goes back around like she's like she pulls up the little curtain thing as she's making her ice castle. And the dress is on wires the entire time she's performing, and the dress is Velcro, so it's made to be ripped apart. So she's had to practice this a lot of times because it pulls her at such great force that she has to be able to stay planted and not move. And so when it pulls, there's little holes behind her. I don't know if you can like the little holes like right behind her. There's a hole behind her that as soon as the dress pulls, it sucks it into the underneath the stage. And so she moves her arms into the movement that you saw in that GIF. If I can find it again. Oh, Giphy GIF, where are you? Is everyone in danger? No. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's very blurry, but it'll have to do. So, like, as you guys can see, they use the fog to hide the holes that the dress gets sucked under here. And so you can see like how much force that dress pulls off because it comes off very, very fast. And so
but also like I think I noticed if you actually look at her legs, I think she had her left foot planted forward and she's kind of leaning forward. So she's leaning away from the holes that pull the dress.
Yeah, because it helps her keep her stance. And so when I saw that,
like how you mentioned that if the dress is always attached to wires as she's walking. You actually see that kind of towards the beginning when she lets the glove go. It flutters away off stage. It's because it's connected to a wire.
And the cape too. Don't forget the cape.
And and the coronation dress. Oops.
But
okay, there we go.
But like, that's like I wanna. It's if you love live stuff like live theater and stuff, because like with theater, perfect example why I love theater. Is that you never know what's going to happen on stage, ever. So when we were doing the Addams Family musical at my school, perfect example. We have there's this moment with Fester, and he's saying he loves the moon and singing about the moon, and we have this big inflatable moon that we had, so that came out that he got to play with us. How he was singing. Literally 5 minutes before we were supposed to have that moon ready to go, it popped, and so you heard a loud pop, and I guess no one heard it over the music, but we were all running around backstage trying to figure out what to do. And so we were able to get them inflated enough times. Another time, my friend Shannon, who I love, and she's such a doll, she played Morticia. Fabulous, may I add. But her second act dress is the bottom part comes off and it's held by a magnet. When she has to put it back on, the magnet fell out of place, and she had to hold her skirt up so that way the thing wouldn't come down. During Midsummer, my friend Cory, he was sitting on this little bench and he was like jumping up and down like this, like on the bench, and the bench broke, and that wasn't supposed to happen. So like all these things that unexpectedly happen, it's just so much fun to see how people react to it. Because I've had people were asking me, "Oh, was that supposed to happen?" I was like, "No, that wasn't." And like, "Oh, but I loved it." Like people, like even though I wasn't supposed to tell them it wasn't supposed to happen, it's. I don't know. It's just, and also you get to see the audience reaction to the final product, and you get to see how they respond to it. And just something about theater is something that you don't get with film, because with film you don't get to see the audience reaction unless you actually go to the theater and pay for it. Whereas in theater, you're already there. So, but if you want to study theater, make sure you have a love for it, because if you don't, you're not gonna like it. You have to be able to love it as much as I do.
Well, you also have to be able to think quick on your feet like that. Like if a costume malfunction or a technical malfunction occurs, you have to think, okay, what are we going to do now?
Yeah, exactly. I can think of an example. Back in high school, I helped with the costumes, and one of the costumes actually got messed up, and so I had to figure out a way to fix it before everything just fell to crap. So I had to be able to do that. So not only that, you have to understand the different jobs about theater, and you can't be bored with it. Like, I mean, I for one don't ever get bored with theater, but if you don't have a pure love for it, it's gonna be kind of hard to do the classes. So before you go back to school, I'm all for you studying it, But just make sure that you love it. Like you have to absolutely love it, or else it's gonna be a tough year. And it's not easy. People say theater is easy. It's not. I would love people who haven't studied theater to go in there, program a light board, or program cues, or tape the stage, or do like the stuff that you have to know how to do. And some people don't know. Like if I tell Mike to go in and tape the layout of the stage, Mike, do you know what that means?
No.
Exactly. It just means like you basically tape out the outline of the set, basically.
Okay. Yeah,
So
so
like,
it's like you said. So like if you're shooting a movie, if you have a technical issue or an issue with a costume, you have time to then go and fix that costume, and then you can resume shooting.
yep.
Doing a live Broadway show, it's like if you have a costume malfunction or a technical malfunction, you have a few minutes, sometimes even a few seconds, to come up with a plan and get it fixed before like the costume has to reappear, come out in the show, or like if you have a microphone issue, you have to find out how to get another microphone for the performer. And then you have to make sure that microphone is tuned to the singer.
Yeah, another perfect example I know from Wicked, actually. The one with Shoshana Bean that Michael had mentioned about me earlier about Dina Menzel coming out on in a tracksuit. That's the point. Point is, that the moment in Popular where she's playing the flower in Elphaba's hair. I can't remember who was playing Glinda at the time, but Shoshana Bean was playing Elphaba, who did a fabulous job. But she couldn't get the flower to stick in her hair, and it's like she was climbing all over her, and it was just so funny. And like trying so hard, and then eventually she just kept it on her thing because like what else could you have done? Another thing was I showed Michael the video of Stephanie J. Block, who played Elphaba, and Fierro. You in theater you have a mark for a reason, and so when you do the show as enough times, you get comfortable and you can like do little fun things like this guy did this. So he went a little bit farther than Fierro was supposed to after Popular, and scared Stephanie when she turned around. So she turned around and she basically screams.
So the setup was that so the character is approaching Elphaba, but he's supposed to have he's supposed to be like 1 or 2 steps away from her when she turns around, but he missed his mark and he took an extra step, so he was like probably like half a step behind her. So when she turned around, he was literally in her face.
Yeah. When she turns, she has to take a step and turn. And then Lindsay Mendez, when Elphaba runs out doing the old cheers, the first time you see Elphaba, Lindsay Mendez, who also played Elphaba, obviously, he literally just slipped and almost fell right into the orchestra pit. And if you sneezing and coughing and stuff like that, those tiny things is what can make a show so unique and different. Like if you sneeze, if you have to sneeze, just get it out of the way. One of the Elphaba, I can't remember who it was, an Elphaba had hiccups for like the first half of the show, and she couldn't get rid of them, so it was really hard for her to do the singing and her lines. But it just made the show that much more unique. There was never going to be one Broadway show that's the exact same as the other. Every show is different and unique, and that is what the big thing I love.
So I have a really hilarious example. So for those of you who may or may not know, Hugh Jackman actually once did Gaston for the Australian production of Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, he did.
And it was shortly after he had gotten started, and he was getting headaches and things. So he talked to a doctor, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you're dehydrated. You're doing all these shows, so you have to drink 3 liters of water a day." 3 liters because that's the system they use in Australia. They use the metric system, I think. So, but you know, Hugh being Hugh, he was drinking 4 liters of water a day. And so he was saying that usually like 5 minutes before show, 5 minutes before they call places, he'll go and use the bathroom. But then he went and used the restroom and he came back. And right when he was supposed to go on stage, he had to use the restroom again. But obviously it was his cue to go on. So the whole time he's singing the opening number, I'm guessing it was Belle and me.
Probably.
He was thinking like this, and it was awkward because the muscles that you need to hold on to not piss your pants are the same muscles you need to sing. Yeah. So it was right at the end of Me when he says, "Will you marry?" And it's the little line where he goes, "So Belle, what'll it be? Is it yes or is it oh yes?" And then she says, I just don't deserve you. And then he goes, who does? In the final note, he sings the me, the big old F sharp. Hugh Jackman stopped for a moment in his head and he's like, if I sing this note, I'm peeing my pants. If I don't sing this note, I'm humiliated in front of 2,000 people. Me. And he sings the note with full gusto. And he literally pissed his pants on stage.
See, that's just the kind of stuff.
Obviously, Gaston wears, I don't remember what color pants he wears in the musical, but I'm guessing it's like a dark brown or black pants.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully his pants were a dark enough color that no one noticed.
I can speak from personal experience because I haven't done any productions of myself, but I did the Winthrop Ghost Tours in the fall, this past fall. And I played Mae Johnson, who is D.B. Johnson's wife. And so I had messed up my lines. I'm just like, and I forgot what I was supposed to say next. I'm just like, and I just do like a little chuckle and whatnot. And then I finally remember it and I say my line. And then as we're supposed to be walking back into our rooms where we go, I straight up just trip and go tumbling into the kitchen. And everyone's just looking at me. I'm like, I just like sit up and like, I meant to do that, and then they leave, and then I did Masquerade of Sin, and I was the Red Death. I had no lines, which was great, but at the beginning I'm supposed to come out of the closet and then go back in. That was a bad gay joke, but whatever. But the person behind me closed the door, and so as I'm backing up, I run into the door, and all you hear is a big because I grunted because I hit my head on the door. So. That's also horrifying when you mess up like that because you're like, oh crap. And so it wasn't.
But when you grunted, I must have got a decent laugh from the audience.
No, I heard some gasps. Cause then the second show, cause we did 2 shows, cause it was like a short little thing. I'm supposed to stalk and creepily follow this guy around, and I'm like growling and stuff. I can hear people going, oh my god. And then someone stops me. He's like, are you okay? I literally look at her like, yes, I'm fine. And then she just gets freaked out. And then I go walking again, and I trip on my cape, and my cape comes off. And then I turn around and like, I act like Gollum. I'm like crawling on the floor and whatnot. I have to improv because my cape was obviously not supposed to come off. And then somebody was not obviously supposed to talk to me. So I had to improv that entire thing. And so since I'm supposed to be a demon, I just started crawling on the floor and acting like Gollum. And like hissing and doing all that nonsense. And after everyone was gone, we wrapped. My teacher comes up to me. She's like, "What the hell was that?" And I was like, "I don't know." Because then I get crucified at the end of the show. So which is nice because I could just lie on the ground. I get carried in. And I could just lie on the ground for like 5 minutes, which is awesome. But yeah. So speaking, I have personal experience messing up live on stage, and it's fun. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks when it happens, but it's also fun because it makes it memorable. But I'm trying to think if there's any other. Oh, what happened in Germany? The Fiero forgot his gun, so he comes flying onto the vine to save Isabel with one of her brooms. She obviously has more than one broom, and it was just a funny little thing. And it's funny when they actually hit each other, like when doing the cat.
Okay.
Because Lindsay Mendez slapped Katie Rose Clark, and she broke character because it was her first time actually hitting her. And she was like, she slapped her, and she's like, oh. And then Katie's like, how dare you? And then they went on with the show, and I was like, that's really impressive that they're able to improv that. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I love watching bloopers. Like Once Upon a Time bloopers, for example, not to get off track, but their bloopers are hilarious. Game of Thrones, because it's such a serious show. There's plenty of bloopers, and so in moments like that, it's just it makes it more memorable. It makes more memories, and I truly want to be working on Wicked. I don't care what I'm doing. I just want to be part of the Wicked family. And if I can be Elphaba, that's even better. Which is not going to happen because I cannot sing. But they make the movie. Hey, I'll audition for Elphaba for the movie. Maybe. But yeah, that's all I have. You guys have any other last-minute questions? Because I've got registration tomorrow morning.
Yep, and I have to be up early to work in the morning. So if you guys have no further questions or anything, we're gonna wrap this up.
All right, y'all. So I feel like we should probably try and do this at least once a week because this is fun.
But yeah, so like, I'm more of a Disney on Broadway fan, so I think next week we should cover a Disney on Broadway musical.
The only one I've ever seen is Frozen. That's all I can tell you is Frozen.
Well, I mean, I technically haven't seen any of them in their entirety aside from Newsies.
Yeah. That, or we can like pick like a Disney movie and then one that's been on Broadway and try to do that. So like it could be like Aladdin or Mary Poppins. I feel like Mary Poppins would be fun to do. Because nobody can top Julie Andrews, but whatever. But yeah, so we'll work it out and we'll let y'all know.
All right. So guys, that's gonna do it from us tonight. We are signing off. If you haven't already, be sure to go over to Liz's channel, give her a sub. Be sure to follow her on Instagram. I tagged that link earlier. Be sure to follow me on all my social media and all my other friends' channels that I have in the description. We love you guys. You're awesome. Thanks for sticking around for 2.5 hours.
Let me say one more thing before we all sign off. And y'all, if you guys ever have any other questions about Wicked or Broadway or theater in general, just hit me up and I'll be more than happy to explain anything you guys want to know about the actual theater industry because I'm all down for that. You can ask him. I'm down to talk about theater any day of the week. Oh yeah, a day or night. Yep. So y'all have a great night. All right, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Later, guys. Mic drop.